CPS family salute, y'all. We have a special episode here tonight. Something that really should have been done sooner. Probably my fault, but it's happening right now, and I'm excited about this one. I think y'all gonna enjoy it. The man that you see right here below actually is a hometown homie, right? He's a ex convict, ex gang member, ex everything that you're thinking of, real life OG. So a lot of people call themselves OG, right? But in reality, you can't call yourself an OG. Somebody else got to give that to you. So I will say, I promise you, this is one right here. But it's just also now a pillar of our community. This man here calls himself CEO Hockley because he really is one. Like, I can vouch for that, right? We spent hours yesterday at his business. He's employing homies out the hood that's coming home, taking care of people and living good. And I'm proud of this man right here, right? I hope I get to his level one day. And it's just an honor to have you here, CEO Hockley. Thank you for coming. It's going to be a good one right here. Do your thing. Tell them how they can find you. Tell them your IG, your everything.
Man, off top, man. Tim, I appreciate you, man. Not only for bringing me on, right, but even stopping by the store, man. Our people, we done kind of lost since social media been around. We kind of lost being personal, up close, in each other's face, and talking to people and meeting people. So, man, I appreciate you, man, for having that in you still, right? To, as the youngsters say, pull up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So it was a pleasure having you pull up yesterday. It was a pleasure being able to get advice and get some information from you, right? And it's a pleasure to be on the show, man. Shout out to your audience. Shout out to everything you done built throughout these years. And I know this ain't easy, so I got to salute you too, right? For being able to bring our stories, right, to this screen and let people hear, man. So I appreciate you, man. If people want to follow me, I'm CEO Hockley on all platforms. That's CEO, last name spelled Hockley. And hell no, I ain't from Hockley, Texas.
Galveston, Texas. Where are you from, CEO?
Galveston, Texas, man. Born and raised 409. That's the area code on the hat, man. Galveston, Texas. For those that's out the state, we right here in the Houston, Galveston area, man. So Houston, Galveston area, man. B.I. Born on island, man. B.O.I. all day.
That's right. That's right. So listen, here's something that I didn't tell you, right? Hockley has a brand on his G County apparel. That's what it's called, correct?
Right.
Right. I got the biggest tattoo on me says Galveston County, right? Big as a billboard on my back. And right. I didn't tell you that or show you that, but when I seen your line come out, I say, boy, that's real right there. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't put on for this county. So I put it on me when I was young. I always said I'm gonna carry this with me everywhere I go. So when I seen you putting on for the county, and I've always heard about you, right? So when I was in prison in 2005, y'all, I was reading through my newspaper, right? And I'm reading local stuff in Galveston. I see a big article. It says Island man returns from prison and becomes an author. And I think it even says something about you trying to write a movie or writing a movie or something like. So you came straight out after a rough bid that was in rough places. Put it like that. I know it wasn't, you did your thing. We know that. But I'm saying you was in some real hardcore places, came out and changed his life. That's why I wanted this man on here, right? Because we're all about, this is not the life you want. But like the title says, man, you went to prison as a young kid. We talked about that yesterday. No matter how hard we are at 17, we're in our 40s now. We know we were kids then. When you got your sentence, what did they give you?
I got sentenced to a 8-year TDC bid in 1995 at the age of 17.
1995, when prison was still real hardcore. No Safe Prisons Act, as y'all like to say, no PREA.
Yeah.
No nothing like that, right?
Right, correct.
So when they tell you that, man, that you on looking at 8 years, you're 17, that's coming out in your mid-20s. How did that feel? Like, I'm talking about that night in the cell. What are you thinking?
Man, I can tell you this. I actually made bond on the sentence, and because of a discrepancy with the court, I I got convinced to stay in jail for 90 days going through, I forgot what we called, like the status hearing conference. I think that's what it was called back then, right? Going through my status hearing conference. When they offered me time and I just bonded out. So I'm thinking once I bond out, I will automatically get backlogged because now I have to get a lawyer and things like that. But for whatever reason, my bogus court-appointed lawyer, whoever they appointed over the case, set the trial for a quick and speedy trial. Like, yeah, immediately. So I bonded out, and it was like a month later, they had me as if I was still in jail, and I wanted a quick and speedy trial.
That's crazy. I never even heard of it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's 90 days, trial within 90 days when that's filed. Yeah.
Correct. So I was like, long story short, I got the 8-year sentence from the free world. I had to come sign and turn myself in, right? So, man, that night when I was after signing for the time and getting out my clothes and all that, and I'm in classification, I was stuck, bro. I was just like, you cry, everybody cry. It's this real situation, but your frustration and it just turned to anger. It just came to that, like, I'm in a situation that my mama said I would never get out of, right? And it just turned to anger, man. I just became I was already confused and angry, but I became a very, very angry person.
I can understand. Trust me, I know, because at that time we're really realizing we messed up. You know what I'm saying? We're mad at the world. And I know me at that age, I don't know if you were, tell me if you were at that age. So I know I messed up, but I'm mad at the world. I'm mad at the system. I'm mad at these cops.
Right.
Was that how you feeling? That's where this anger is coming from?
Right, man. I'm mad at the school system. I'm mad at the streets. I ain't graduating. People going to graduate. They finna go to college. I've been in and out of jail since I was 13. Now I'm stuck. Here they gave me, and I was just angry, bro. I really displayed that from that day forward. Like, it was just zero tolerance, listening, just as hard headed as I could be, just as vengeful, and just wanted to, I don't know, man. It was like bathing in pain, right? It's like just wanted to experience pain, wanted to inflict pain, did not want to follow the rules, did not care about commissary or none of that stuff. Just wanted to inflict and endure as much pain. Just wanted to be numb to it all.
Man, that's deep, man. That's deep. I appreciate you even saying that, because that's the realest I ever heard right there. I'm gonna keep it real. So let me say something. Every time I've ever been to prison, every time I've been anywhere, people always told me about you. I'm not kidding either. I'm not saying that for the video, right? I was in TDC. Oh, Criptonite? I was on Clemens with him. Or Criptonite? I was on Ferguson with him. And I'd be like, man, I know who you're talking about, but now I don't know him. Why? What's up with him? Oh man, that homie was rock and roll. That dude wasn't playing. That dude was about that business, right? That's every time I'll say, hey, that's Galveston right there. That's Cedar Terrace. That's how it is at all times, right? So now that you're explaining to me this, how you was feeling, now I understand why you got this reputation, right? Like it's making a lot of sense to me. So I wanted the people to know that what he's telling y'all, I've heard it from third parties. Like they say this guy was a terror in the prison, and that's for real. And so when you get chained and all this, right? Where's the first place that they send you?
Well, the first place that I went was Holiday Unit. Back then, they sent you to the transfer facility, Holiday Unit, and they had the little state jail system going to where they was trying to keep people out of the actual system. Like they tried to keep a lot of first-time offender, low number people out of the system to where they wouldn't be caught up with on, as we say, ID units or red brick units where people had been convicting and fighting and doing all kind of wild stuff. So they sent me to Holiday Unit, and then from Holiday Unit they sent me to Larry Gist Unit.
Okay, so you want to transfer then?
Right.
Yeah, and we know both of them looking like, right, dorms and all this type of stuff. And this is your first taste of adult prison at this young age right now. I mean, we picture prison as cell blocks, 3 rows, and all this, and then when you get to this, you got open showers, no privacy. How was that feeling? Like, man, what is this? Like, was you surprised? I know I was.
Well, I can tell you this, bro. I was on Larry Gist. I got the Larry Gist like May 1st. By May 29th, I was shipped line 3, closed custody. It took me every bit of 16 days, maybe, right? To let them know that I wasn't gonna be the kind of person that you was gonna be able to fit into this kind of system. Like, it was not gonna work for me. And I started a ride. I mean, straight up. I'm new to the system. I'm even new to the unit, you know. And in 14, 15 days, man, I started a ride that got a lot of people in trouble. That and it was a Black and Mexican ride because I was new to going to work in the fields. You know, I didn't even understand. So boys, girls, people listening, people talk about prison all the time, right? But they don't tell you about the forced labor or the free labor of how much labor that they plan on getting out of you. In one interview, I told a person, they thought we just went and, you know, just hung out in the dorm all day. It was a boring place. But in this time, it was slavery to the highest level, man. I mean, when you had to work, you was either working or you was in school or you was locked down 23-1. Yeah. I mean, it was the only things, you know, that they had. So, Tim, I went to work. Larry Gist, for those that don't know, is in Beaumont, right? It's out in Beaumont. And I went to the fields and I got blisters on my hand, man, the first 2 days, man. You know what I'm saying? I got blisters on my hand. I did not like it. And the next day I couldn't find my gloves. And I was so naive and so angry and so frustrated that I felt like a Hispanic dude had took my gloves. And I didn't know him, didn't know nothing. I approached him that morning at turn. I asked him a question. I say, hey, man, those my gloves? And because I was a new boot, or because I was new, his answer didn't fit with me. Well, he told me straight up. He was like, what you mean, Holmes? You just got here. You can't come approach me and ask me no questions. And I was like, what? Right then and there, my mind was just to snap his neck, you know, because one, true, I have an insecurity that I am new here, right? But you just can't tell me. So I did not do nothing. I went to the fields. And, you know, when we in the fields, we run into other groups from different people on the unit. I ran into a friend of mine out there, and he was going home tomorrow, the next day, you know, because you could get released from state jail. Right? He was with Josh Gonzalez, man. He was getting released. So I talked to him. He like, man, what you doing? I say, man, I got an 8-year sentence, man. He like, man, I go home tomorrow. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. I was like, man, I say, tell my mama and them I'm finna kick this Mexican ass, man. You know what I'm saying? When you get out there, you gonna hear about it. I say, he was like, what? I was like, yeah, let them know when they don't hear from me that I done hurt somebody down here. Right? That's what I told him. Like that, again, that's me want to express my anger and my frustration in a moment in which this guy's being happy that he's going home. Right? And sure enough, we came back in for second half, and I created a ride, bro. We came back in the second half, and I made a big mistake, man. When we came back in after child, I approached the Mexican straight up, ready to fight, man. And this is something I learned about my time in prison from this forward. I approached him, and I was like, what's up, man? And I took the gloves from him. And I was like, do you want to do something about it? Nah, I'm the new boot. I'm the new guy. I took the gloves. You want to fight over him? What's up? What you want to do? And he backed down from me. He backed down, but it was a whole play so he could go get a weapon. Right? And so he could go get with his homies, and so they can attack me. So he backed down at the minute I made the approach. And I don't know many people in this dorm, blacks. I've just only been here 14 days, 2 weeks. I have no friends here. I haven't met many people here. But the blacks, paid attention to what I did. It was like, damn, okay, what G-Town doing? You know, they called you by the name in which the city you fell out of. And they were just paying attention, but I didn't talk to none of them. And man, my dumb ass, after taking the gloves and punking him, so to speak, my dumb ass got out my clothes and went to go take a shower. When I got out the shower and came back to my bunk, they was lined up by the TV, sitting on the bunk. Mean, he was looking at me mean, like he was frustrated, like mad. He had the biggest mean mug he could have, Tim, and I was just like, oh, so now you want to fight? You got your homeboys, right? And now you want to fight. And he jumped up, I guess, to scare me. But his motion just made me get active, man. I was capping on him. I was like, yeah, so now you want to fight. You got your boys, you want to fight, huh? Bitch ass motherfucker. You want that's what you want to do? And he jumped up and he didn't have a shank. He had a lock and a sock, right? But the mere fact that he jumped up, I just popped off on him, man. Just straight up. I had my boxers on. I had my shower shoes on. And man, listen here, man. Listen, bro, I just popped off. The minute he jumped up, I smashed him. Just straight up. There's no other way to say it. And from there, when he dropped, man, I got to smash in the next one. Before you know it, everybody in the dorm fighting. They shoot the gas in there and everything.
Other black guys come help?
No, it's like it just triggered a chain reaction of Mexicans and blacks fighting each other.
Right, okay.
Right, because people, I mean, you've been in there. I mean, you know, you can have nothing to do with something and it still affects you. So people was watching it play out and it just got violent so fast to where it just triggered. Everything just triggered.
So listen, rest in peace to Dr. Laird. Dr. Laird would say all the time, prison is like 99% boring or work and 1% action, and that 1% action might be deadly. And that's true facts. You're saying it right there, right? Them other people didn't know what was going on. So you kept it real. You said, I even got other people in trouble, right? Other people now, they're getting G5 and shipped and all this stuff. But that's how it goes, man. This is not, pay attention to what he's saying, y'all, because this is not the life he wants, right? He wants, I want, y'all want, nobody wants this no more. And we're making sure, taking steps in our life so we don't go back. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, right? But I just I had to ask that, and that was really how you broke it down. That shows maturity and growth right there, and I like that. That's serious. So when this riot happens, do you get hurt? Are you okay? I mean, they lock socks? Are they hitting you with them? Because I know the Mexicans probably all had them.
Well, a few people got hit with them. Like it happened so fast. It's my first time getting gas. So they shoot gas into the part. You gotta remember, I don't know anybody in here. I have no relationship with anybody in here. The most thing they know about me is that my name Criptonite and I'm from Galveston, right? That's the extent of my relationship with everybody in here. So I did not get hurt in the riot. You know, again, that's one of them stories where they talked about what I did to start the riot off. But it was my first time being zip tied to the point to where my hands was bleeding and laid out in the hall. Because remember, I never had on clothes. I only had on boxers the whole time. So we was laid out on the slab, as they call it. You know, we was laid out on the bowling alley right after the riot for hours and hours. And this was my first time being gassed or treated like that. So again, man, I was just bathing in pain, bro.
Yeah, you're already angry now. This happening. I know it's adding to it.
I'm just bathing, and all I'm thinking in my mind is like, yeah, I bet he wish he gave me them gloves. Like, I'm not even thinking of the consequences. I'm just thinking like I'm playing back his answer, right? I mean, that's my level of ignorance, right? I'm playing back his answer, but man, few people had parole. You know, on them units, man, people go home. Like, it was just a bad look now that I look back at it, but it was one of the first incidents that start building the Criptonite persona or the Criptonite, you know, legend, so to speak, as it relates to prison.
Right. And I said I heard about you everywhere I ever went. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know exactly why but I'm starting to see, and hope everybody's enjoying this. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up for us. And Criptonite, tell them one more time how about your channel real quick. We got some more people watching.
All right, man. Shout out to everybody tuning in, man. My name is CEO Hockley, as y'all see on the screen. You can follow me on all social medias at CEO Hockley or CEO_Hockley. I have a YouTube channel, have an Instagram channel, I have a Twitter. I have all the things you need to have on here to be able to get your message out and get your word out, man. I appreciate Tim Snow, Texas Prison Stories, for being able to highlight me this evening, and we appreciate y'all for joining us, man.
And we really do. And let me tell you something. So he does a live call-in show in the morning, right? Every YouTuber, including myself, isn't very accessible sometimes. But this man right here, if you want to talk to him, tap in with his show, participate. Well, hey, he'll take hecklers.
Right.
He'll do whatever you want to call in and talk smack. Go on and do it. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you check out his morning show. It's entertaining as heck. And it's worth it, man. Just check out CEO Hopper. Y'all make sure. So listen, you're on this bowling alley, right? You're laying out there for some hours, wrist bleeding, getting mad as hell. You're thinking, he shouldn't have said that. It's his fault. You know what I'm saying? What do they do? I mean, you go into the hole next. Like they don't even have a hole big enough for that in state jail. What do they do to y'all?
Well, back then, I don't know if they had that now. Back then, they had the dorms like LOP, loss of privilege.
Yeah, with the cages, right?
Yeah, with the cages. So they separate us in LOP, blacks and whites. So the first day after we get off the bowling alley, everybody glad to be off the bowling alley. We all go to LOP, and everybody just talking about what went on, who did what, who did this. We still riding off the excitement. And again, we don't know each other, but now we all caged in and stuck with each other. Man, by day 2, things had changed. By day 2, the realization of what was going on, that people parole was at jeopardy, that this and that was going on, the weight of the situation was coming in on them. Well, I'm just 2-3 months into TDC with an 8-year sentence. It ain't no weight for me. And in there, amongst each other, shit, I end up having a fight. I end up having to pop 2 niggas' ass, and they're just physically just, you know what I'm saying, just get at it, right? And yeah, so that's how that pretty much ended, and they shipped me out of there. Yeah, they shipped me out because that system is not built for that, that level of violence.
Right. Let me ask you something, right? And this what they don't know, and I didn't even know. There's people on the internet, boy, they talk noise. Hey, they'll call you out, everything. Hockley is a big man, right? You're not a little guy. What are you, about 6'2", 6'3"?
Right, 6'2".
About 6'2". He's got weight on him. You know what I'm saying? He's not a little guy at all. Good build, right? So, but at 17, was you thin as hell and skinny, or was you same size?
At 17, bro, I was thin, man. I remember going to jail and booking. I was like 150. Right, I was like 150. You know what I'm saying? Coming into the system, I was like 150. But I grew up in the projects, bro. Like, we gonna get it cracking. Like, yeah, like, I mean, what you mean, man? You gonna have to whoop me, man. Like, so that's just coming from our era, coming from that concrete. Like, yeah, that's just what it is, man. Me and the homies fighting each other every day, all day.
I'm just asking because people need to understand the frame of mind, right? They're thinking, maybe he was real big, maybe this, that, the way you're talking. You explained it right there, right? See the terrorists, listen, I'm from Lamarck, right? Y'all, we all Crips and everything.
Right.
Y'all would give us the blues in the county a whole bunch of times, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's
right.
When we say projects, we're talking about like on TV, we're talking about with the clotheslines, we're talking about real projects, right? We're talking about where the cops coming out here 100 times a week, where all the crack is being sold, where everything is happening. The epicenter of the gang banging, all of this is where he was at. You know what I'm saying? This is a small area, and that was the #1 place right there. I ain't gonna lie. So I had to say that.
And then, as you explained, man, the county jail was a very brutal place. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, it was very. I would say the county jail was more brutal than prison, man.
Because I've been jumped in county jail like 3 or 4 times. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie.
like all that gang banging activity goes right into the county jail. Like, and I mean, especially back then in the '90s with the old jail, 719, like man, third floor, fourth floor, like it was a very brutal, very dangerous place, man, for me and everybody else. So I just took that into prison, bro, and people ask me that. People would ask me what unit I came off of,
Yeah, I
right?
know. See, that third jail. Listen. So we're getting off track. We'll talk
Yeah,
about that on a different. But that he's talking about a place where you don't see no police all day. Only count time. They slide your food through, and you on your own. That's why it was like that, right. And it was everybody
yeah,
for themselves. And that's I got a story that I told not too long ago about when I was in 3A. All right, it was live. It was cracking in 3A. It was legit. But so listen, we'll get on that because we're gonna do some more videos, man. This dude is literally my neighbor, y'all. This ain't no joke. Like this is my
right,
neighbor. And Saucy D's locked up. I was doing them with him, but my man's gone. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody that I told him to help me make this fun, man. Like, so this
right,
dude is somebody that can do that. Hey, when his real personality comes out and y'all see this man, you're gonna be entertained. What can I say? Because what did I tell you? How you tell the brutal truth. You
right,
understand? You're good at
right,
speaking, but you never pull no punches. And I don't do that. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you that I keep it real G-rated right here on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because I try to make it.
right.
But this man here is gonna tell you the real truth, and I salute that and I respect that. But so listen, when you leave over there, you done gotten 2 squabbles in the cages and all this. What happens next? I mean, chain bust. Do they tell you where you're going, or do you got to go to diagnostics, or what's happening?
Man, I get a chain. I get put on the chain, and at this time in 1995, they had created a youth offender program in the state of Texas. The youth offender program was created under George W. Bush. For those that know, George Bush, right? President George Bush, right? For y'all that don't know, um, some people say he may have been the worst president in American history. I really don't know, but he is the president before Obama. He messed up so bad that they had to bring Obama in, right? And that was even more, a mess. But we have been experienced. We've been under the leadership or under the rule of George W. Bush since 1992, man. From 1992 to 2008, George W. Bush has set the rules and regulations for the state of Texas and the United States. And he had came up with a law in 1992 that will send you directly to prison, a male adult prison at the age of 14. After making this rule and making this law into effect into the state of Texas, they decided that they was going to create one prison that they sent all these babies to, all these teenagers, all these kids to. And because I was 17 and because I had messed up in that riot, they decided to send me to that unit. That unit was no other than in Brazoria, Texas, Clemens unit, aka Burning Hell. That's where I went in 1996, right? After that ride, I cashed my one-way ticket to Burning Hell Youth Offender Program at the
Let me
age of
tell them
17.
let me tell them what's cold. It's probably like 30 minutes from Galveston, 45 minutes from Galveston. You now locked up in this place that's notorious, and it's right next door in our backyard. How'd that feel right there? Knowing you so close to home, but you're far away.
Man, coming to the gate, so coming to Clemens, going to prison, you always nervous, man. Don't let nobody tell you they not nervous. Coming to prison, I was nervous. I was a kid. I had butterflies, but my natural reaction to fear is to fight. The fight or flight thing, right? So for me, it's the fight. When I get scared, I gotta get active, right? I gotta get this over with. So coming to Clemens, I realized I was like, oh, okay, here it is. This ain't no state jail. This is real deal. This is it. right? Here it is. And I'm coming in closed custody line 3. That's the bottom of the bottom. Right now they call it G5 or G4 status, but back then it was line 3 closed custody. So I was coming in hot at the bottom of the bottom. And pulling up there, man.
Hold on. And you coming in where the worst of the worst are too. Say it like it go, right?
Correct. So facility was a prison that was probably built in the 1960s. It was one of the worst prisons in Texas in its time. That's why it had the name Burning Hell. I wasn't coming here until 30 years later, which was 96. And now they was transforming this unit into the youth offender program. Again, like I was telling y'all, the state of Texas decided to start sentencing kids as adults and send them to real prisons. But they did not want them to send them to real prisons everywhere. They wanted to like make an entry prison for them. And the entry prison for all the hard-headed youngsters was Burning Hell in Brazilia, Clemens unit. But this the mistake they made, Tim. It was people that was already in the system that had already been serving time. It was kids already in the system that was already serving time that they took from their units where they've been over there a year or two already and brought them to Burning Hell. So this what made it even worse. You had anybody from the age of 14 to the age of 21. And if you've been in prison since you was 18 and now you're 20 on Beto or Ferguson or French Robinson, if you've been on any one of these units for the last 2 years, they was taking you off your unit and bringing us all to one unit. Whether you was just coming in the system or been in the system, if you was of age, you
got cats showing up young but already got experience.
Already got experience. So I didn't understand that until I got there. And that's what made Clemens unit Burning Hell so wild and so dangerous. If you was coming out of TYC, some people been in TYC since they was 14. That's the Texas Youth Commission, right? Some people had TYC sentences, and at 17, they went before the judge, and the judge sent them to adult prison. Everybody came to Clemens in the 90s. If you was a violent or you couldn't be controlled youth from the age of 14 to the age 21. And I could say this from a control standpoint, it was probably the worst prison I went to from a control standpoint. There was no control and there was no rules.
So it was wide open like that while y'all was young?
It was wide open, meaning wild, like out of control, wide open, not wide open like, oh man, they not know. It like I pulled up and the warden had a black eye.
Oh man, are you serious?
I'm dead serious. You know how the warden would walk the hallway and try to stop somebody? Somebody fired off on the warden and gave him a black eye, bro.
That's crazy right there. That is wild.
And that's wild. That's what I'm telling you, is that it was that level of ignorance going on from the day that I got there.
So listen, when you get there, you know you got heart. You know you hold your own. You're full of this anger and everything else. Who hit you up first at the door? I mean, so you hold on. Let me ask you this, right? So when you get there, well, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna let you tell it. I'm sorry. Go. I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask, like, are they checking you on some gang shit? Hey, are you Crip? Are you Blood? What you bang? Are they just like, yo, come on? How did it go? That's what I wanted to know. Like,
how did it go? Okay, so this is how it's set up.
Let me say one more thing, and I apologize, because the reason I'm asking this,
right? I mean,
everything that I ever heard about you. Now you sideways. Flip it double. There you go. Everything that I ever heard about you was hardcore cripping, gang banging in the penitentiary. Right. Is what I heard. I didn't hear. Oh yeah, he's a bully. No, I heard serious real life gang activity type stuff. That's why I'm wondering, like, how did this start? First day type stuff or what?
Right. So when I came through the door on Clemens, the way Clemens was set up is, you come through the door, they let you out the gate. I mean, they let us through the gate. We all get off the gate. The guards line us up, and then they walk you into a hallway. Most red brick units in the state of Texas are long hallways with different tiers or different blocks attached to this hallway that you can enter. But it's a long hallway going north and south. You enter into the hallway by the child hall, you pass up the child hall, and then you go to classification. All new incoming inmates at this time had to go, you had to be classified by that unit's warden or assistant warden or captain to be placed wherever you need to place. So the way the system work is you come in, they will classify you and put you where they think you will best fit on the unit. Well, immediately when we came in, people was in the hallway. People start hitting you up. I mean, you get gang signs automatically. Nobody knows you. Niggas hitting you up. They screaming out they set. They doing all that shit from the word go. So I'm like, damn, okay, shit. I'm like, I'm not hitting them back up because the officers walking with us is telling us, you know, hands behind your back, hold your bag, you know, so forth and so on. So we get in there. And in classification, the officials that are classifying us come in there, they like, are you a Crip? Are you a Blood? They asking you these different things, looking at your files, looking at this, and then they telling you right there that you ain't gonna make it. Oh, you ain't gonna make it. You a Crip? Oh, you're not gonna make it. I mean, they are challenging you. The administration is challenging you. If you are a white guy, they are telling you you are not gonna make it. They are telling you that you won't have a chance. And they just letting people know, oh, yeah, we're going to send them over there to B-Wing. And they was like, oh, yeah, so what happened on B-Wing? Then they just break two guys. You know, they putting all this fear in you before you go over there. And that's just from the administration, Tim. I mean, just straight up.
That's, I mean, in reality, they're being real. They're being honest, right? I mean, yeah, so, hey, that's the mentality that you're walking into, right? It's dangerous. And I seen them saying the same shit to people. And honest to God, when I got to Beto, the GI officer told me, good luck. If you want to know the truth, he said, man, are you serious? I said, yeah, I'm serious. He said, good luck. And that wasn't a good feeling. How about that?
So I'm 17 years old. I'm telling you, I already got this anger. And so they sent me to B-Wing. B-Wing is, they wasn't lying. B-Wing is where it's at. So the minute the guard opened up the gate and I went on B-Wing, they was doing it in and out, which when you go in, it's 4 tiers over here, right? You have to go inside the day room. I was going inside the day room on the in and out, and all people were saying, what set that is? You bang, what set? All youngsters. I mean, this how I knew it was real, Tim. Not only was they asking me what set that is, the people in classification wasn't lying. This was the first time I ever been around people that were 17, 18, 19 years old that had missing teeth. Tim, like these boys asking me what set they is with their teeth missing. I'm like, what the hell? Say, Tim. I'm like, what the hell? Like, you know how you just see that and you automatically think somebody is rough, right? Yeah. I mean, automatically. So these boys got their teeth missing. And then here's another thing that made my entry so noticeable, right? I went into a system in a time where you went to prison with the shoes you had on.
Oh, yes. I said that in a video before. That's a setup every time, ain't it?
That is a setup. So I came into the system with some all blue with black sole Mike Tyson Adidas, right? And the minute I hit that door, everybody wanted to know what's up with them shoes. That's why they was asking me what set I banged, because they were seeing the shoes, right?
Yeah.
I got free world pictures in those shoes, right? So they was asking about them shoes, and you already know everybody want the shoes. In that time, shoes are trophies. So when I went in there, they was asking me what set it is, and I told them my set. I'm like, man, it's West Side Rolling 60s, nigga. I'm Criptonite. I'm from Galveston, and that didn't get no play, bro. That didn't get no play. When I say no play, we are surrounded by, at this time, we surrounded by gang culture and gang banging living in North Texas through the homies in Fort Worth and the homies in Dallas, right? Very few people from Houston are Crips or Bloods at this time. right?
I know.
And yeah, so when I hit that B-roll and I screamed the set, them niggas was ready to challenge that, and they wanted them shoes. And the first issue that I had was it was another guy from Fort Worth whose name was Criptonite, and we both can't have the same name. That's what I was like. What? Man, I don't even. I'm saying to myself, like,
was he for real, or was it just some penitentiary test you type stuff? His name was really Criptonite?
no, it was for real. So the first problem was I was a rolling 60, I was a Crip, right? And I was from Galveston. Okay. I'm like you. I'm coming in trying to see what the issue gonna be, and I'm ready for whatever issue it is. Man, the issue is that nigga is telling me I can't keep my name. I'm talking about within an hour here, they telling me I have to change my name because somebody else over here name is Criptonite. And I'm like, I was baffled more than anything. I was like, what? Like, nigga, no. That's a no-go, nigga. I don't even know what y'all talking about. Nigga, I don't even know him. Like, what the fuck you mean? Like, as if I made my name up because of his name.
But that's like me going to prison and they saying you can't be Tim no more. We already got one.
We already got one. That's what I was told. That was like within the first hour, and I was like, I just found that odd. But I did have some homies there. You know what I'm saying? Block C, Randy, who then got out and worked at the store. He was there. He was on the wing with me, and he was coming from state school. So he knew a lot of the politics and a lot of the stuff like that. But Randy was a wild boy, and he was like on loss of privilege, where they don't pop your cell to come out.
Yeah, cell restriction.
So he on cell restriction. So I'm just hollering at him, and the homies from Fort Worth and Dallas, they telling me I got to come to Rec to straighten out the issue by my name. So I'm trying to holler at Randy, like, man, what they talking about? What's going on with this shit? My nigga, what's up over here? Lace me up, cuz. Like, what's up? And he just like, man, don't worry about it, cuz. You got just go to Rec. And I'm like, is you going? He like, I can't go, but just go out there to Rec. They gonna tell you what's up. And nah, man, I wasn't with it, man. I felt like I was gonna get jumped. I felt like I was gonna get played on. I just wasn't with it. So when I went out there, I did go, but I made up my mind that, okay, they gonna jump me when I get out there. So now that I know I'm gonna be jumped, I can't let it go the way they want it to go. Right? That was my mind. My cedar street mentality kicked in. Like, okay, I'm gonna get jumped, but I gotta kick it off. That's what I'm saying in my mind. I can't let them trick me into letting my guard down so much to where I just get hulled out here. Right. So what I did was, if they try to orchestrate who I had to fight, I just fired off on the person that was trying to orchestrate I kept telling them, like, I ain't with none of this, bro. I don't know y'all. I'm not with none of this. Y'all ain't my homeboys. I don't stand on nothing y'all talking about. And the dude like, nah, homie, see, you gotta. And I just got frustrated with explaining myself, so I expressed myself the way I knew how, with my hands, right? And guess what, Tim, though? I was in a shock for my life, bro, because I gave him my best too, black as I, and it did what I wanted it to do. The guard started yelling fight. So for me, it's like what we call a catch-out move, right? I'm thinking like, all right, bam, man. That's the only way I can get help is by being on the attack. But when they started hollering, when the guard started hollering fight, to my surprise, the Hispanics that was playing basketball jumped up in front of the guard and say, no. He a new boot. And the guard left.
They know it's hard check time and all that type stuff, right? They just, yeah.
The guard left, bro. Like, nah. I was like, what the fuck? Like, nah, it ain't no riot like the last situation. It ain't no bunch of noise. Now I gotta deal with my actions amongst these niggas for real.
Man, say, I mean, how quickly did that hit you? Like instantly? You like as
It,
soon as you see this guard walking off, you know, I'm stuck out here with these dudes and I done stole off on the main one.
man, listen, when I'm peeping the scene, when I'm going out, I'm looking for help. I'm looking for how can I get out this situation? And I'm looking at the guard as my only way out. But I can't holler for the guard. I gotta do something to get his attention. Right? So that's the whole play. That doing something was stealing off on a dude and popping him and doing all that while the guard could see. And to see the guard leave, I was all out of plans at that point. Yeah, I just knew the knives was gonna come out and all that was gonna come out. I was all out of plans, all out of choices, man. I mean, if we would say, man, I was assed out at that point, bro. But long story short, what ended up happening is I had to fight the dude who had my name, and I won that fight. And then I had to turn around and fight the dude who I beat for, right? And the dude that I beat for ended up being important. He ended up being like the leader of one side, of this thing. And you know, like in any scenario, because you're the leader, it's a lot of people that don't like you.
Right, of course.
Right. And because I made the leader get active and gave the leader a black eye, right? It made a lot of people celebrate that act. So throughout the whole, so nobody talked about the random fights. They just talked about the dude that just pulled up that gave the other dude a black eye.
So let me say something, right? You pulling up, really not even knowing what's gonna happen. You doing what you're doing, and it end up getting you a bunch of respect, though, right?
It end up giving me respect, and that's where they start asking me. Again, I'm still confused, though, right? I'm not understanding prison, culture, living. I'm still confused. That's why I tell you, they start asking me, bro, what unit I came off of.
Oh, they thinking you already somewhere rocking and rolling.
They thinking I'm already then came from Ferguson or Beto, or what unit you come off of, cuz where you was at. And I'm like, man, I'm from the world, man. I'm from Cedar Terrace Projects. Man, I ain't come off no unit. I'm straight off the block, right? And yeah, that quote unquote catch eye move end up really giving me points that I never even thought I would be able to get or even understand until weeks later.
Right. That's what I was saying. Exactly. End up working out well for you, right? So when they understand you're Criptonite still, you cripping, you coming out of Cedar Terrace and all this, it was still new to Texas back then, right? There wasn't many places, probably Beaumont, Galveston, Dallas, Fort Worth, a few other little spots that was banging, right? So as you said, they're the dominant force. They're the ones that are the deepest. How hard is it for them to get to like accept you? Was that all it took right there to show that heart? Oh yeah, he's a real life 60. He's for real. Or did it take your finesse game because you're a great talker too and you're smart? Did you have to like work your way in, or did they just say you won, you with us?
No, what happens is that go on. So then I get the rival group, right? Which of course is the rollers, and if I get the rival group to hurry up and try to accept me, right? Like, hey, cuz, we rock with you, cuz, what you need, And I dissed them too. I was like, hey, I'm not with nobody, nigga. I'm from, I'm steady screaming my neighborhood. But I tell you what really broke the ice, so to speak, right? And you could attest to this too. What really broke the ice as it related to, of course, it was my heart, my ability to get out there, as we say, but it was the fact that I was from the free world. In that time, so many people had got put down in prison or was being put down in prison. A lot of these people didn't have neighborhoods or reputations like we had coming out Cedar Terrace Projects. So it was my pictures. It was my swag. It was all that stuff that they got to see in real time.
Yeah.
Right? Like some of the throwback pictures I showed you. Like
you came with the receipts.
I came with the receipts and I came with the heart. And that what I would say, fast track the situation or whatever.
Yeah, so I did have some. I can attest to that, right? Because when I got to the feds, I'm not knowing personally nobody there. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling them stuff, can't really prove it. I start getting my pictures, right? I got Point Blank and all these cats with me that I done talked about at my mama's house, and they're still not believing me. And then PSK13, shout out to PSK13, he hit me up and say, Snow, I just wanted, and you know what? That was the last of anybody ever doubting anything I said. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is how many people we seen in penitentiary that had 10 Cadillacs, had a Mercedes, had this and that, or this. They don't have no evidence. All it is tales, right? And CEOs showing up from a real hood that they know about with receipts. So I understand it totally. Yeah.
With receipts. So that's why they was asking what unit I came off of. They was asking me this, and you gotta remember we all kids, right? So it's very few people by the age of 17, and I was in jail a month after turning 17, that would even have that kind of street reputation, right? Coming from the environment where I'm showing my cars, I'm showing the bitches, I'm showing the jewelry, I'm showing the money at 17, right? And I caught this case a month after turning 17. So these are pictures from when I'm 16, 15, and 14, right? Growing up in the game, growing up in this environment that I was able to have, and I got the shoes on, right? And I'm gonna defend mine. So that kind of fast tracked that situation of being acceptance over there real quick.
Yeah. So listen, can I ask you a question about that? Because they're not understanding what you say. And so when I went to TDC, you definitely didn't have your shoes at that time, right? But I went to Harris County when you had your shoes. And it's a vicious game. Like when you walk in with some nice shoes, not just one person is thinking, I want to take them shoes from that man. Everybody's thinking that, right? They're looking to see you. On Clemens unit, how many people did you see lose their shoes?
Oh man, on Clemens unit, man, people lost their shoes left and right. I came with people that had their shoes. Some people get their shoes up, bro.
Just to avoid the problem.
Some people get their shoes up. Like, you gotta understand, the only inventory of shoes is new boots coming in with them, right?
Right.
The Jordans ain't coming in unless the new boot wearing them. So whenever the Jordans came out, and you try to go to jail in your Jordans, man, them Jordans will cause you all kind of problems. Like, I mean, it was people in there that wanted Jordans. That's the whole thing. What size them shoes is. You know, we grew up, that was a big thing because that's all prison was about.
Right. So I don't even know what year they stopped. Was you in there when they stopped doing the shoe thing?
I don't know. I can't even remember, but you already know what they say. When somebody asks you what size your shoes is, say your size.
Yeah,
now, we knew that from the free world. So that goes to show you how important that shoe part of it, or how violent that shoe part of it was, bro.
Yeah, I know. It was like, I'm serious when I say a pure setup. That wasn't even something that should have been going on right there.
A pure setup, and especially in a time where people are just getting put on with Crip and blood, and you got some red shoes or some blue shoes, or you got some red shoe strings or some blue shoe string, man, come on.
So somebody sent a super chat and asked at 17, why don't people go to juvenile jail? He was, so I'm gonna break it down real quick. It was a juvenile prison. It was for people 14 to 21 is where he at, and that's what we're speaking of right now. But all these people are in adult prison with adult situations going on. It is an adult facility. Some of them were certified in as adult. Shout out to my brother Rico from Southwest. He was there certified on some robberies. You have murderers, rapists, arson, serial killer type kids that killed their parents, kids that killed other kids, you know what I mean? Gang murder. I mean, it's so where he was really the worst of the worst. And it's gonna be the worst of the worst because the kids still have this childlike mind, but they're forced to live in this savage adult environment, and they're getting treated by these people like adults in adult situations and everything. So listen, there was a famous case about this white kid named Rodney Yulin, I believe it what it was, on Clemens. I don't know if you ever heard about that or not, but he he was writing home and trying to catch out and telling everybody, staff and all this, about him getting raped over and over again, right? And Rodney Yulin end up killing himself over there, and that's something that's how bad it was. Where we're talking about, like, you can look that up if y'all don't believe me. So when you get there, you're young. Now this your first ID unit. How long does it take a man at this age to feel situated? Like, I'm here now. I got this. You know what I'm saying? I understand the politics type shit. Does it take? How long did it take you?
Listen, bro, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell this to the audience, man, and I hope they can feel me on this, right? At no point in time in my prison sentence or my prison time in TDC did I ever become situated. Never. I never got situated, bro.
Well, that's a good thing. That means you were
You
still making
understand what I'm
a
saying? Like, I had an 8-year sentence. I did 7 years, 3 months, and they kicked me out. Like, I never got adjusted. I never got situated. Like I told you, I came in with so much pain and so much anger to where I never let that go, right? And I never, like, I used to always say, man, I ain't listen to my mama. I'd be damned if I listen to anybody in here, right? And I never got situated. Now, I did come a point where I calmed down and I started thinking, right? But at no point in time was I ever with the rules, man. Never, never with the
I don't
rules,
even mean
bro.
the rules, because I know that. I mean just straight prison politics type, to where so you know what I'm saying? Where how you said when you first got
Oh!
there,
You
you
saying
didn't understand what's
you
going
saying
on.
like a regular became a regular?
Yeah. When did you become a
Yeah.
regular? It feel like a regular.
Oh, okay. Feel like a regular. Well, you brought up the Ryan thing, man. Another thing to the audience that's listening, man, and everybody that can hear me, man. It's another situation over there that just changed my whole life and changed my whole way of thinking, right? Because up until this point, it was just about fighting, crashing out, creating violence, creating pain for people. But in that same year, a couple months after coming to Clemens, right? A friend of mine that I knew from the world. In the world, we was enemies. You know, as kids, he was a blood, I was a Crip, but we grew up together. We grew up around each other. We grew up around our friends shooting and killing each other, and now we ended up here on Clemens. His name is Roger Campbell. And in 1996, I want to say June 3rd, or June 4th, or June 2nd, 1996, right? Roger Campbell was killed, right, in a black and Mexican riot. So my second ride, someone that I knew was murdered in it, and that changed my life, man. Somebody right here from Galveston County was murdered, and I knew from then on that I was gonna do my entire sentence. I knew I could not have the notion or even think about parole or think about following the rules, because he died following the rules. He died trying not to participate in what was going on, right? And he got caught up in it anyway and was murdered because of it. And he pretty much just, I got respect for his family, his brother Booty, and all the different people that I know. But just to be honest with you, man, he pretty much just bled out, man. Like, it was no medical assistance provided for hours. And he just never got back up off the floor, bro. And that shit fucked me up.
No, I know it did. Listen, so that's the same story about Scarface, man. He had a heart attack on his cell floor. They was trying to give him CPR, yelling for some medical assistance, and he laid there and he died and laid there for hours dead, man. That's the real life of prison. Y'all pay attention to what this man's saying. This is his real free world homie. He knows their family. He grew up with them. He's doing time with them. This is somebody that you get very close to, that is now passed away because of this prison life, man. And this is what we trying. And CEO Hockley is talking about this, right? But we're not glamorizing this, and he doesn't participate in this. Let me just ask you, so you can answer for yourself. Are you still an active gang member?
Negative, man. Negative. I'm not a gang member at all. Don't want nothing to do with no gangs, man. That was a kid stage that I went through, and that's something that I had to go through to become the man that I am today. Not that I wanted to, because that's what my environment, right, um, put me in. But to reiterate on the Roger Campbell situation, right? We called him Lil Rip, right? To reiterate this, he had a 2-year sentence, bro.
Oh, I didn't know that. That rest in peace. So that's tragic
He
right there.
had a 2-year sentence, and then when you hear the stories come out, people like, oh, the Mexicans killed him, like as if he got into it with the Mexicans, and the Mexicans murdered him over something he did. That
Right.
was
So it
not
was
the
a
case,
riot.
bro.
It was an actual riot when it happened.
It was an actual ride, and it just so happened when they kicked the ride off, he was sitting on the neutral bench trying to be away from the conflict. And when they kicked it off, all they saw was color. They just wanted to inflict pain on anybody, right? And he was actually trying to not be in the bullshit and got murdered with a 2-year sentence, man. I saw that. I was like, nah, bro. I told my mama, I was like, listen, ma, don't write. Don't worry about it. I'll see you in 8 years. Like, yeah, don't even check on me. Yeah, don't even check on me. So, yeah, prison is not nothing to play with. And here we are, what, finna be 30 years later, right? And only the people that went through that knew that, man. You got kids running down there now to go back to prison. You
So
got
what
people
was the
down there.
riot about? I mean, was it like Mexican gang? What them young Mexicans, were they repping like prison gang? What were they repping back then?
Back then, it was Tango. What was it? Tango Blast? No, back then it was TS Mexican Mafia, and then you did rep your city. I don't think they called it Tango Blast yet, but you did rep wherever you from, because it, for whatever reason, blacks do not believe that other races are divided, but the Hispanics were divided. Not only was they divided by Mexicans from Mexico and Mexicans from South Central, I mean, not South Central, South America, right? But so they had 3 different divides. You had South Americans, South American Mexicans, Mexico Mexicans, and you had the Mexicans that was here, right?
Right,
And if
right.
they didn't get in the game back then, TS and Mexican Mafia ran prison as it relates to the Mexican side, right? And the 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 riot is over like the same shit I created a riot over when I was at the state jail. It's us being black, being brown, being young, not having respect for each other, want to display our dominance, want to display our control, want to display our ability to inflict harm on one another, that led to the riot. It was like over some shower shoes or a Mexican getting slapped or something like that. And the Mexicans was just tired of that shit. So they just kicked off a riot to show how deadly they would be if they was going to keep being physically attacked by the blacks.
All right. No, I get it. So over there, what was the majority? Was it mostly blacks or was it mixed?
It was mostly blacks. In that time, in the 90s, it was mostly blacks, mostly black and brown, but pretty much black for the most part.
So listen, man, I want you to be honest right here, right? You said when you came to Clemens, they were telling the white boys you're not gonna make it. How many of them
Yeah.
didn't make it?
You just spoke on a white boy that killed himself from being raped. Like back then in the 90s, you had 3, outside of the gangs, you had 3 major fractions in prison. You had blacks, you had Mexicans, and you had white boys. Okay. No offense to your audience, right? But understand this, the blacks and the Mexicans took turns on breaking white boys. So if a chain came in with new boots and it was a white boy, right? Or white boys on that chain, the blacks got to pick if they wanted to break them. The Mexicans got to pick if they wanted to break them. So The chain come in on Tuesday. If it's a white boy on there, it's the Mexican time to break the white boy. If it come in on Thursday, it's the black turns. We took turns as groups of races inflicting pain on white boys. And in those groups, it was separated. Meaning like when it was the blacks' turn, it's the Crips' turn to do it. Or it's the Dallas people turn to do it. Or it's the Houston turn to do it. When it's the Mexican turn, it's the Mexicans from Mexico turn to do it. Or it's the Mexicans from South America turn to do it. Or it's the Mexicans from America turn to do it. So within the groups took turns on who was going to break the white boy. And when I say breaking, I'm talking about making the white boy pay for protection, making the white boy perform sexual acts, right? I mean, completely breaking and destroying his credibility, his ability to be a man, and demasculating him. That was what it was in the 90s. Was it some white boys that went through that and survived? Yes, it was. But even going through something like that, right, really beats down your character and beats down your ability to be stand up, because this is a lose-lose situation. And that's what was going on. Most white boys sat on the floor and played Dungeons and Dragons, man, to escape the reality of what was going on in prison. It was reverse racism.
So listen, man, I say it all the time, right? That it is the reverse world in there. If you go to prison in the state of Texas and you're white, you now, due to the unfair punishments and over policing and stuff, you're now the minority, right? And that's facts. And what he's telling you is true. He's not BSing it. So when I was there years later, because it was still white boys playing Dungeons and Dragons, staying in the corner, minding their business, right? Nope. They pretty much had it understood by then. You leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? They do their thing and everything, but much didn't change. And I'm pretty sure it's still close to the same. This is not the life you want. You know what I'm saying? You have angry men like him that's going to use you for entertainment. They're going to use you for monetary reasons. They even said other reasons.
I got a story about that. So I want to say, man, I contribute a white boy named Cowboy to kind of helping me early on break my code of having pain. So the chain came in. It's the blacks' time to break the white boy, make him ride, make him suck dick just for, but all that shit is our turn to do to break this white boy, right? And it was on Criptonite. Hey, Criptonite, it's the Crips' turn, man. What we gonna do? So at this time, I had my brother with me. And let me say that, man, for those that don't know, I have a brother that's currently incarcerated, been incarcerated since 1994. He's been incarcerated 30 years. He just made parole in November, and he will return home this year. He went to prison when he was 15 years old. His birthday was February 23rd. He turned 45, and he will be coming home this November. After 30 years in prison, from 15 to he was 45, he will be home this year. This is a real life situation. This is not no fucking Nintendo game. This is not no fucking story on YouTube. This is real life. Prison is a fucking time machine. These people will stick your ass in a time machine and you will be fast forward to 2074. Those people that did those shootings, like at the Kansas City shooting, the stuff that y'all see on the news, these people will be stuck in a fucking time machine and we will not see them until 50 years from now.
No, so that's big facts. Listen, everything he's telling you is why he's here, y'all, and why I did pull up on him yesterday, and I did tell him that I want to do this. I was excited about it because nobody can tell you like somebody that's been through that, right? And then here's the thing. I'm proud of you, man, because you put yourself in a situation to help people coming home. Something that he's not talking about. It's not relevant to what we're talking about, but it's relevant to him. So when I pulled up on him yesterday, one of the homies that we grew up with is working with him. Like, he just came home, 27 years, right? This is a real situation. Like he's saying, he just went through the time machine. We was little kids when he left, and he's a grown man. and here he is now learning a trade, a skill, a business, something that he can go somewhere else and apply, whatever. And he's doing it in this man's business where he's not being judged for his past or anything. They're making an honest living. And I just respect that so much. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm proud of you. And no, this ain't, I'm gonna keep saying this is not the life you want, man. So don't think we're glamorizing this or anything. He's just telling it like it is. So, cuz I want to ask you this. Listen, so when Lil Rip passes and y'all have this riot, what's the next step? I mean, is everybody shipped? Are y'all now locked down? Y'all gotta handle this. How do you politic this out? War? What's going on?
No, they didn't know what to do with us. You remember they created this so we could all be on one unit together, right? And so now a murder then took place. Of course, they removed the people they felt was responsible for the murder. Another thing about this incident, y'all have to remember about prison in this time, there is no cameras, bro.
Right, I know.
Yeah, there is no cameras. There is no watching to see who went in and who went out. There is no cameras in 1996. There's no cameras on the wings. None of that.
About the old red brick prison with the keys that turn.
With the keys that turn. There is no cameras, bro. So they got rid of a few people, but for the most part, they locked us down for like 4 months, maybe. The news came out there. Now, the murder brought a huge spotlight on the actual program that they had just started.
Yeah. So
right.
I'm here. So it was such a big deal. They literally had the news out there. I didn't know that, and I never seen that.
Right. They had the news out there and they were speaking about it. And they was like, because George Bush had created this system and this administrator had created this, and now a murder has taken place. Right. A 17-year-old boy has been murdered with a 2-year sentence under the watch of George Bush's new youth offender program.
I see what you're saying. That's even more tragic. That's why it made the public. George Bush got this boy with these young savage killers on a 2-year sentence.
On a 2-year sentence, and we end up being locked down 4 months. One of my first time ever going through a real long lockdown. They end up deciding on that they need to ship some of us away from here. Yeah, and what they did was they took the worst of us. So we already the worst of the worst, but they took 2 rows of us. They picked us all out and moved us to C and D block upstairs, right? Basically, like, put us all on pre-hearing detention, but we able to come in and out. So we moved to where the cells now have cat wire on them, chicken wire, right? So they got a whole wing of us over here, and they plan is to ship us off in the next coming months, but they gonna let us up, right? It's closed custody, but they gonna let us up, but they gonna get rid of us. And what happens is I end up having to go on bench warrant, right? Okay. So I leave because the county brings me back on bench warrant with my brother, who I just explained to y'all that was in there for murder. I come back on bench warrant for my brother's case. So when I come back to the system, they end up sending me to Clemens. Well, first they sent me to the wrong Clemens in Clements unit.
Amarillo.
In Amarillo. Okay. Amarillo sent me back down south. So let's say probably like 4 or 5 months later, I come back to Clemens, right? In Brazuria. And all the ones that was there, like Randy, all my partners that was there doing the RIP thing, the majority of them had been shipped to Beto, Ferguson. They all been shipped. But now I'm back. And I'm like, I realized, I'm like, damn, I really got away. The goddamn bench warrant allowed me to escape the shipping part, right?
Let me ask you this, though. Hold on. When you come back, are you feeling like you don't want to go back there? Like, was you happy they're gonna send somewhere? Or are you like wanting to go back because it's familiar and you know what time it is there?
Yeah, I want to go back because now I'm a vet. Now, when I come through the door, It's the big homie Criptonite. Like now, it's like, yeah, I'm not coming to a new unit no more. I'm coming to my unit.
Right. Right.
Right. I'm coming to my unit, and even though it's new people here, the remnants of what's been left behind is still intact.
Right. So listen, when you get there, what did the police say? Oh shit, he's back. He escaped the ship. Are they talking about, man? What I'm asking, what kind of speech did they give you when they get there? I know they probably said stay out of trouble.
When I get back, when I go through classification this time, it's pretty much like closed custody. You know, it's like no love. Send his ass back to where he was at. And when I go through classification, it's just like, you know, no love. You've been here before. You know, fuck you. Go to where you go. Line 3, closed custody. We don't care nothing about you. But that was perfect for me because that's where I left. But it's a lot of new people, but there's no chicken for me, right? Now I'm just put right back into the system, and it's like I'm the big homie because I've been here through the ride.
Mm-hmm. Right. So when you get there, now, how is you looking at these new people that's coming, new cats that's saying they're Crips and all this? Now, how does this turn into where you're a big homie? Are you checking them? Are you telling them what's going on?
Exactly. So now I'm the person orchestrating the chickens on my block. I'm back on B block. Now instead of being on 1 and 2 row, I'm on 3 and 4 row. And I'm orchestrating the chickens. I'm now in a position to orchestrate who get touched, who don't get touched. Right. And this is what makes me this situation when I was telling you about a white boy coming in. And so what happens is my brother gets sentenced. He gets a 45-year sentence. They end up shipping him straight to Clemens. Right? So we going from being in the county, now he over here on my unit, right? My brother, he on my unit now. Nigga, ain't no checking my brother. We lining this shit up. Let's go, nigga. We got this shit. So me and my brother is orchestrating check-ins. We on the same wing. We on everything. We orchestrating check-ins, bro. And it's the Crips turn to check a white boy. White boy name is Cowboy. Me and my brother back doing, and this incident changed my life, man. And I can say that Cowboy in this incident changed my life. So if a white person went through the beating and never folded, right? He went through the beating, bro, and we broke his ribs. Okay. So now in this fight of me administering pain and giving out pain, the white boy ribs get broke, bro, and he can't breathe in the day room. He literally turns blue.
Oh man.
Right?
Yeah. Scary now.
And all we do is, because we still young, I'm probably 18 now, we stick them inside the bench. And when they roll it in and out, everybody clears the day room out. Am I making sense? You know how underneath the little bench, the little bars? So we just stuck his ass in the bench, and when they rolled the next in and out, everybody cleared out the day room. The lawman saw him in the bench, hollered for help. I'm in my cell, and I'm like, damn, what they doing, man? I see the ambulance, lights and everything come to the unit to pick this guy up, right? And bro, up until that point, I had cried in prison when I first got locked up, you know, coming from the free world. But I have never got on my knees and prayed. I have never asked the Lord to help me do anything. I didn't even think prayer worked, right? At this particular point in my life, until I saw the ambulance come to the unit and take away an inmate that I had hurt. And now I was thinking, Snow, I was in here saying I didn't want to murder. I didn't want to be murdered, and I didn't murder somebody. Yeah. I'm going to go from having 8 years to having a life sentence in a matter of 8 months, right? And man, I prayed, I prayed, I prayed, I prayed that that white boy did not die.
Yeah. So a lot of people, listen, a lot of people out here, even legal gun owners, fam, they say they're itching. I wish somebody would. I wish somebody would try this. So I kill somebody. You do this to me, your life is out. But when it's really happening, when you really can't take what you did back, now you got to realize, oh man, I just ruined my life. You got, yes, you see him in this ambulance, right? But you
Right.
immediately think, oh man, that might as well be me in that ambulance. You know what I'm saying? It's a little
I
stuff for
immediately realized I had ruined my life. I had came to prison with a 8-year sentence, and now I just murdered somebody in prison. And I had to be the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived. I've been around these people with life sentence. My brother got 45 years. I got a funky ass 8. And I done turned that bitch into a life sentence. That's all I thought about in that cell. Like in 8 months, I went from having 8 years to never was gonna walk out of prison again. So I prayed. I prayed. I asked God to save this white boy. I say, if you is real, if there is a God, is there any of that shit my grandma was talking about, my mama was talking about, is any of this shit real? The blood of Jesus, any of it, and I'm literally praying like this, bro. Do you hear me, Tim? I'm not saying it in a gangster way or a street way. I am literally cussing in my prayer. If any of this shit people be talking about is real, if any ounce of this shit is real, you will let this man live and let me walk out this prison with my 8-year sentence. If any of this shit real, I'm being absolutely sincere to you right now. If it ain't real, let him die, and I will end my life in this prison.
Yeah, you got your answer, didn't you?
I got my answer. Not only did he show up 3 days later, the administration was so mad at him. You got to remember, they shining the light and somebody else is finna die in the youth offender program. And now it's a white boy. Cowboy didn't even tell on us, bro.
Oh, yeah, he kept it real.
Cowboy came back with 2 teeth missing and broke ribs, and he didn't tell on us. I was so happy to see Cowboy, right? To where he had a free pass his remainder of the time I was over there. Listen, I paid him. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I mean, completely looked out for him. He could sit wherever he want to sit. He could go wherever he want to go. Like, I completely made sure nobody fucked with Cowboy. Son him cigarettes, son him whatever. It was like he was an honorary Crip.
Yeah, yeah. So where was Cowboy from?
Man, I can't even remember, man. But Doug remember more than I do. I can't remember, but I made sure that he was took care of.
That's real, yeah. So, I mean, Cowboy. So I know you believe in God. I know, you know what I'm saying, and everything else. And everything happens for a reason, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And I'm glad he didn't pass, because we wouldn't have CEO Ockley in a position out here to be helping people, telling us the truth, telling these kids gangs ain't what it is, and showing them how to get good legal money. You know what I'm saying? So we're happy,
right?
Happy, man. So they were already in the comments. They want to hear about Ferguson unit, right? That's what's the hot topic. And what's the worst thing that you seen? I know Rip was really, really hard. I know that was scary when you thought he was gonna pass. Was that probably what do you think was your hardest moment over there on Clemens unit? You said 3 riots in one day too. Was that the worst one? What was it?
The 3 rides and one the hardest part was watching the ambulance take Cowboy away and knowing I could go to jail for murder. It was nothing harder than that. That shit made me pray when I didn't even believe in God, right? So that is by no chance, nothing else in my prison sentence was harder than those 2 nights. Do you understand what I'm saying? I did not sleep for 48 hours, bro.
So let me ask you something else though, cause we'll get to the riots too, right? I mean, the next white boy that comes in and it's y'all's turn. Did y'all take it easy on him, or was it the same?
No, it got tricky for me, bro. It got tricky for me, right? And I can tell you right here, what happens is I don't want to check nobody no more, right? I'm done with checking, bro. I'm checking out. Now I know God is real, right?
Right.
I'm done, man. I done fucking prayed. I done made promises for fucking 2 days straight. And this dude cowboy done walked through this door alive. I'm done, right? I don't want to check no more. I'm not done with the set of the game. I'm out the checking business.
Right.
Right?
No more fun.
It's not fun no more. Lining people up, doing the fight shit. You know, that shit is not fun. I want out.
Yeah.
And what happens is it's not a white boy that come, it's a blood member that come. And you know, at that time it's not a lot of bloods. So a blood member come and he come right to my wing and it's checking time. But I don't want nothing to do with it, man. I'm letting them know, like, man, I ain't checking nobody, bro. I'm out that shit. You know, regardless if cowboy die, live, the chicken shit must go on. It's just the way the system is built. Like, yeah, we don't give a damn who die, live, whatever, the chicken shit go on. But I want it out. And a blood member came and he didn't get the chicken part. Nobody checked him, but everybody was trying to get at him. And it led to where I was forced to have to check him, right? Because he got so disrespectful based on the other people doing this. And it wasn't that I was scared. It was that, man, I just prayed for goddamn 2 days. Right. Like, yeah, that I wouldn't have to be violent to nobody and assault nobody. So because I had to check him, bro, I just basically threw the fight. Like, I just basically went out there and got dropped.
You did it on purpose?
I don't want to say it was on purpose, bro, but my heart wasn't in it. Like, I was, by this time, I'm undefeated. I'm running everything over. But my mentality had shifted in my mind. Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you feel some of that anger going away at that time? Like, the emotion switched to where I almost killed myself in here.
I almost killed myself. I realized it wasn't worth it. So I felt like the only way out of it was to take a loss.
I got you. Yeah,
right.
Somebody else had that attention, huh, man?
Let somebody else have that attention. Like, if I gotta lose to shake it off, man, let me get out here. And I will honestly say I did not go out there to lose. Right? I did not go out there to lose, but up until that point, you know, we take pride in getting dropped or fighting and this and that and this. But at that point, I never got dropped. I never, you know, but I got dropped, bro. I got smoked. And listen, when I went back in my cell after the stuff, and now the way people were talking about me doing the guy when I came, everybody was talking about how the guy did me. Right? And I was in my cell, bro. I was happy as a motherfucker. I was smiling. I was like, yes. Like, nah, I could just slide out the way and not care about this shit no more. Right?
So but you playing chess, not checkers, like they say. Real talk.
But it didn't work. I'm here to tell you, and I would say I was the smartest person. It did not work, bro. That shit led, because prison is a very wicked place. And here's another rule you need to learn. Prison does not give a fuck about the weak, bro. The minute you show weakness, you might as well be dead. right? In this environment, bro. And what happens was I had to come back a few days later and crack his head open with a can, bro.
Man, was he talking? Was he getting disrespectful after the fight? That was what was happening.
No, we really had to be honest with you, we didn't know each other, but he did understand that I didn't want to check him.
Right.
If that makes sense. But he didn't know me enough to know that maybe niggas just put a key in my back. Right? Like maybe I was just a crash dummy. That's probably how he took that situation, but it wasn't like that. And he ended up wrecking some more people. He ended up wrecking some people, fell out of place, and he ended up wrecking them too. So now it was on me. So the people that was taking over the leadership or had the leadership after me, he wrecked them, right? And so now it's like, damn, you just can't come to the unit and wreck everybody, so to speak, right? But see, I'm the one that's willing to get violent, and it got very violent, bro.
Yeah, man. Listen, this is Haka, you going deep right now, man. Like this is the real deal, right? This is the stuff that I've heard about this man. So I didn't want to say things that I've heard and tell his story, but you ain't bullshitting is what I'm trying to say, right? This is real life stuff, man. And this is what you're 18 years old, about to say 19. How old are you?
At this point, man, I'm 18. I'll probably be 19 in a few months. But you got to think, man, I got to go crack somebody's head open after just print. So I asked God, I say, I know you real, God. I know you real. But you got to forgive me. I got to do one more thing. I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm like, I know you real. But man, if I do not retaliate with violence, people gonna think I could be raped in here or something. Like it's no way, Lord. There's no other option. So I definitely talked to God again, and I went out there, and we did what we had to do, man. Straight up, went straight to work. So those are the stories you get. You know what I'm saying? At 18.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how to explain it. When you're 25 years old, right? You're been in the system since you're 18. You're convict as it gets. You know what I'm saying? Especially on some. What was that? You said that was 14. That was 14 to 21 over there, right? So as you reach close to 21 over there, especially the guys that's 14, yeah, they're just advanced, man, and they will take advantage of you. They will prey on you, like he's saying. Look, this man here was a real life gangster there putting in work and just said he needed to go do something. So he felt like they wouldn't think he was weak. He proved it over and over again. He wasn't, but nobody wants it's just a messed up mentality is what I'm trying to say. Right. And it don't matter how hard you are. You got to prove yourself again. And this is not the life you want, man. That's messed up. Oh man, listen, I really did want to ask about the 3 riots in one day though, because that's something that I got a few messages today. People was like, is he serious? Like, we never heard of 3 riots. How does that even happen?
3 riots. So, okay, I hit the guy with the can. That's another violent act. And he don't tell. They actually separate. At this point, they separated me they took me out of the program. They took me out of the youth offender program and put me like on the adult side of the prison, right? So we did have adults there, but that's where the program was at. And they put me on the adult side. I had never been on the adult side, but after the can incident and nobody telling on me, they put me on the adult side of the prison, right? Where people that was 25, 21 and up was at. So they moved me over there. I was 18. Like I say, I was turning 19. So I was over there, and really now I was kind of like away from the bullshit, Tim. Like it got me away. I guess God let me do one more thing, and then he moved me, right? So
yeah, was it different over there? Were they like more mature, more calm?
No, it wasn't different, but it wasn't as wild, right? Like, yeah, it wasn't as knock them down, rag them out all day, every day. Like, so I moved over there, And really, I started experiencing being a convict, not a gangster. Now I could be a convict, right? And start doing my time instead of time doing me, right?
Tell
But
them what you think is the difference. Tell them, because listen, 70%. I did a poll. 70% of my audience never been locked up. What would you say? What would you, as you progress to convict time? What's the difference? Tell them.
well, the difference is this, man. When I was headed to prison, I never forget a guy told me, say, "Hey, youngster, don't think about all that fighting and shit in prison. Man, listen, prison is not all about that fighting shit. Same way like Dr. Larry said, it's 99% born, 1% violence. But when the violence crank, it's very violent. So I didn't understand what he was saying. He say, listen to me. The majority of the fights you're gonna have in prison is because you started them.
That's deep. Yeah, that's
I
real.
couldn't understand what he was saying until then. I was like, damn, a lot of this shit I started or I got into, right? At no point did I run from it. At no point did I not invite it. So when you start doing time and time not doing you, you're not letting the stresses or the day-to-day activities of the prison control how your day gonna go, or the politics control how your day to go. You learn how to step, not step, move. How the song say? You know when to fold them.
Right. Know when to hold them.
Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You ain't on go all the time. When you on go all the time, time is hard. When you're
Stressful,
around
ain't it?
people on go all the time is hard,
Yeah, it's
right?
stressful. It's 24-hour stress. The only time you happy is in the cell type shit.
Only time you happy you in the cell, like it's always some shit going on. So I started being able to do time. And that that led to the 3 rides, man. Like so so real quick, the kind of run us through the 3 rides. And for people asking what year this is, it started in 96. Right now we in 97. This is 1997, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Clemens unit, burn in hell, Brazilia, Texas. For those asking about a timestamp, right? So the 3 riots, we got to contribute that to no other than OG Percy's top friend on here, right? The one OG Percy brought to life on the internet. My personal friend, the legendary man, Blue Hands, King Shoe,
Shout out
out
Blue
of
Hands. He is a legend. Ain't no doubt about it.
out of Port Arthur, Texas, right? Blue Hands, aka King Shoe, is the reason CEO Hockley was involved in 3 riots within a 12-hour period. Yeah, 3 rides. And basically what happened, Blue Hands came to the unit, and he came to the unit and they sent him to the program. You gotta remember, I'm quote unquote out of the program because I'm not on the wing that the program is being administered on, right?
Right.
Blue Hands entered the program coming from state school, right? And his name is Blue Hands because he's able to do things with his hands, right? And living up to his name, he wants to use his hands, right? So I'm telling him, like, listen, bro, it really ain't like that. You ain't I done shift. I done made my shift. I'm convicted. You ain't got to do that, bro. You all good, man. You got a reputation from state school. You ain't got to do that. He wants to do that. And again, people on the unit, everybody wants to prove themselves. And he is getting into it with somebody that was there since I was there. Another homie of ours. But at the time, we was kind of enemies. You know, we had the North Texas, South Texas stuff going on. Long story short, him and Blue Hands collided. But I was explaining to Blue Hands the whole time, don't do it, bro. Don't do it. It ain't going to work like that. Like, he a regular. He been over here. If y'all get together and y'all could get it on one-on-one, we'll make it happen. But as long as it's the rec yard or it's this, it ain't gonna be no one-on-one, bro. Niggas is gonna ride on both sides.
Listen, he's showing up with some TYC experience, but green to this real life prison, and you trying to lace him up.
I'm trying to give it to him, but he trying to get at it. But I'm letting him know it's like he's not calling out a new boot. He's a new boot trying to call out a regular.
Right. And listen, so that word regular, people don't even understand that if you're a regular, you probably got your own seat on the bench nobody else sits on. You know what I'm saying? You have already whooped a few people, took your licks, whatever. You have showed that you ain't gonna tell. Like, this ain't nobody gonna last and be called no regular, right?
Right. So regular is prison lingo for veteran or convict. Like, hey, this somebody already got a name, bro.
Right.
Yeah, this somebody that already got a name, man. Right. He a regular.
So
like,
yeah, calling him out, and he got friends here. He's already probably in a little clique or something. You know what I'm saying?
He already in the set. He already in the set, and he a rider for the set. Yeah, he a rider for the set. So in prison, you got 3 terms. You got new boot, you got regular, and in my day, you had neutron, right? Yeah, so whenever we talking, we either saying he a new boot, he a regular, or he a neutron.
Right.
Neutron meaning he's not affiliated with no gangs.
Right. So listen, what I mean, he set it off, or what? He wouldn't listen to the advice.
He wouldn't listen to the advice. He got at the guy, and that kicked off a huge riot on the rec yard. Basically, North Texas against South Texas. And here's the thing: everybody don't go to rec. So the people that didn't go to rec had a front row view to what went on the rec yard, right? And in this right out the window, right? And in this situation, they gassed the rec yard. Me, Blue Hands, we all out here. They gassed the rec yard. I actually got out of that ride because I'm a veteran now. I'm a veteran. It's about my 3rd ride. I done seen my friend die in a ride. I'm a veteran. I know at this point how much to go, how to stop, how to dip, how to try to make it to the gate before they lock the gate, how to get out, how to do all that. So in this ride, I did what I had to do, and then I dipped. And I got Blue Hands to dip too. And it's on the rec yard, so it's all kind of chaos. We dipped out. All right. But I'm escaping to my block, right? So to speak, because the laws are running. It's like, what you mean escaping? When the riot is happening, the police are running to get riot gear. They are running to try to secure the area. They get caught. Trying not to get caught because the riot could quickly turn into them getting stabbed up. Right. And I already knew that other officers had to let the officers on the rec yard out.
Right. Yeah. So it's a serious situation.
But you gotta be in it to know it though. You gotta be in it to know it. So in the time it took them to try to let them out, we didn't already put in the work. And now everybody is fighting. Mexicans fighting, everybody gonna get in trouble. So everybody's getting popped, so to speak. Like, yeah. And when the laws come to help the other laws, I force the gate, or some of us force the gate open, and we get out, and then they close the gate and lock everybody in. That's in. And whoever's locked in, you already know, straight to pre-hearing detention.
Right.
I knew that now. So I got out. When they came to help the laws get out, I got out. Right? Blue Hands got out. But here's the thing. I went to my block, and the people on the block felt like they didn't put it on Blue Hands. They put it on me.
Oh, shit.
Because I'm the regular, right?
Yeah.
I'm the nigga with the name. I should be able to let Blue Hands know or control them. So they put it on me. And you know me, I'm not one to make no excuse. You know how we said, man, fight squash everything. So that ride happens at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock rec. All right. They locked down the whole unit until breakfast. They let us up for breakfast, right? Breakfast that happens at 6. Breakfast is at 3 o'clock in the morning. 9 hours later, we going to breakfast. They roll the doors and go to breakfast. Me and my crew that I roll with, we go to breakfast. I'm sitting down eating. The people that we had to ride with on the rec yard is not in the chow hall. But they homeboys that was not at rec that night are in the chow hall. And shit, one of them ran up and hit me with a tray and kicked
shit.
off another ride. Kicked off the second ride, right? Because again, it's not Blue Hands is the target. I'm the target, right? Okay, because they wasn't with their homeboys. They like, well, shit, man, I'm finna crash right here and go out. And I was the target. Nigga hit me with the tray. Shit, nigga popped me upside my head with the tray. Whole ride kicked off. Didn't see him come. One, I didn't even know me and him had an issue.
Right. That's man, listen, that's one thing about it. We've said before, you might mess with somebody, he got a homeboy, you have no idea who it is, and look, he's popping you with a damn tray. Did they gas the chow hall? Did they lock y'all in and gas the chow hall?
Listen, they popped me with the tray. So we get into it with 5 Deuce Hoovers, right? I get popped in the head with a tray by a 4 tray. Right? Yeah, bam. I get hit, bam, hit with the tray. It jumps off. It creates a ride. He hits me with the tray and do what I did as a veteran. Hits me with the tray, do the little scrapping, runs. I catch the laws before they leave, runs out like he's under attack, gets away, and I get locked up in the second round 9 hours later. Right? So now I'm on lock, bro. And this is why people asking, is that real? I hope I'm explaining it to you and making it as real as I could make it. That was 9 hours. So you already know what comes after breakfast is work call in TDC, right? So come 5 o'clock, it's time for the fields to come out, but the whole unit is reeling about the 2 rides. And now in the second ride, Criptonite is a victim.
Right. Now everybody talking.
Now everybody's really talking. But you got to remember, man, I'm still over here with my brother. I'm over here with my brother who we, put the work in for real. We come from the world with it. So I'm in pre-hearing detention, and it just so happens that when they come out, they get to, come to the bars and yell down the run, right? While I'm in pre-hearing detention, they at the bars as they go to work. And I'm like, man, such and such hit me with a tray. Man, y'all handle that. Soon as y'all get out there, y'all handle that, man. I can't do nothing. I'm out the game. And they went to the fields, but because they separated by wings, they can't get to them, right? Until we get outside the fence. And you already know, anything outside that fence, you finna die.
Yeah, it's serious. Got tools in your hands.
You got tools in your hands, man. You finna die. But my brother took it outside the fence because that's the only way he could have got retribution for me getting attacked. Right? And went outside that fence, went with them Aggies. Shit, it went back up, blood was spilled, guns was fired, and Free World Police was called.
Yeah, that's how hey, listen, when they call them Free World Cops, that's how you know it lasted a while.
That's how you know it lasted. And that is how you end up with 3 rides in a 24-hour period, in a 12-hour period. 3 serious rides that got me emergency shipped to Ferguson unit.
A damn Blue Hands, huh, man?
I talk about it all the time. Ever since he came on here telling the story, man, Blue Hands got me hitting the head with a tray, man.
Man, ain't that cold, man? For real, dog.
And then listen, he ended up staying over there like 10 years after that.
Yeah, so that's where for real. So you told me something that shocked me, right? Yesterday, you said after that they emergency shipped you, man. That was crazy. What'd you think about that when that happened? Did you feel special, or you like, oh shit, I'm in trouble?
Nah, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, me feeling like a victim in the situation that I got hit with the tray, right? Feeling like a victim. I always wanted my lick back, bro. No bullshit, right? I always, and that brother got out And you know, he one of the brothers that if you bring up my name, he would honor me. Like, yeah, I know Criptonite, man, that's my boy. And people used to always say, man, such and such be, man, that nigga be bigging you up. And I used to be in my mind like, man, when I see that nigga, I'm gonna fight that nigga. That nigga owes me like yeah, it just always played in my mind that, man, you never gave me a foul one. We never had no words. You just attacked, right? Like, nigga, I never got a chance to look you in your eyes, and you just attacked me and just took me out, so to speak, right? So, I didn't know how to feel about it. I wasn't proud about it. It was fucked up. I was just like, I was just chilling, and Blue Hands fucked my whole play up.
Yeah, you were convicting on your farm, and all of a sudden here come this new cat, man. He's too about it, and but guess what? Did he really remind you of yourself?
No, it was just like,
I mean,
like
when you
you
first
said,
got there
no,
young, when you did he remind you of you on Larry Giss? Is what I'm saying. Like coming
no,
in.
what you said it. You said it. Well, what it reminded me of was I knew exactly what to do, but he knew not to listen.
Right.
You know, you said it like, damn, here you is. You know he bought it, and you trying to give it to him, but you can't give it to him. Like, I was just like, damn, I can't even help him in the situation. Not so much that it looked like me. It was that me and Blue Hands the same age. It's like, damn, I can't even give no advice. Like, I can't even.
Hey,
I can't
some
even
people gotta
fix.
learn for themselves, man. That's all it is. And some people want to. Hey, what did I tell you yesterday? I'm one of them type people. Man, I try to do everything by myself. Learn the hard way. Sometimes it's a fault, though. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, and what you tell me, hey, sometimes people got stuff to offer, and you need to take it. You know what I mean? So you were right, and he sounds
Right,
like that. That's all. But you know, so listen. His famous story is yeah, he learned the ropes. You know what I'm saying? He convicted and he did his thing too, right? And
right.
we all start somewhere is what I'm trying to say. And we all mature as we get older and we learn. And it was unfortunate that you got knocked out the game. But hey, as we go, this is not the life you want. So before we go to Ferguson real quick, I don't know how much longer you want to go. I'm having fun over here. How
Man,
much
I
longer?
ain't tripping. Yeah, I ain't
Okay.
tripping.
Shout out everything. He has a YouTube channel, all that stuff. Shout it out.
Okay, so you can follow me on YouTube, CEO Hockley. You see the name right here, right? CEO Hockley, man. On all social medias, YouTube, everything. Just Google CEO Hockley or put CEO underscore Hockley. Everything will come up, man. It's the actual factual truth. Prison is not a place to be glorified. Prison is not a place to be macho or none of that. You do all that gangster shit in prison, and then you get out here and the light bill beat you up. That's one of my
Yes, sir.
favorite lines. It's one
Yes,
of my
sir.
favorite lines on his internet, man. The light bill kicking these gangsters in their ass. Yeah, you run all them men, you run all that gang shit, but being a daddy beat the shit out of you, right? Yeah, you don't want every fight in prison, but you get out here and you can't win the daddy fight, right? So none of this shit is to be glorified. All this shit is immature, stupid shit, right? And I'm just here to give y'all the information from a person that factual went through it and evolved in the right man, right mind, right state, and with all my senses and my abilities. And I've been able to financially help myself and help my friends out that situation that I once went through. So that's just what this is about. We are not celebrating this shit in no form, no fashion. Fuck Clemens unit, fuck the Crips, fuck prison, fuck all that shit, bruh. You want to get through that shit so you can get on this side of the fence of being a man, being a father, being a responsible adult, not being dead, not being in prison, not being a fucking deadbeat out here in society, not contributing to the positive out here, bro. That's what this shit is about.
Real facts. I couldn't say it better myself. You know what I'm saying? That's pay attention to what he's saying. If y'all watching this, make sure you go follow him, man. He's got a dope morning show he does. You know what? Shout out to OG Hollywood. I'm gonna keep it real. The Ferguson Chronicles. Talk about the Ferguson Chronicles real quick before we go to your Ferguson. Tell them about what
Well,
y'all got going on.
I'm gonna keep it realer than that, bro. Shout out OG Percy. You know, shout out to OG Percy, man. I say that to say this. Me and OG Percy have differences about his expression of Ferguson on this platform, right? But I would be the first to say it and first admit OG Percy created a wave that Ferguson could be heard, right? He created the wave that made y'all want to hear about Ferguson stories and the Ferguson Chronicles and all that. But what OG Percy did that I did not like, he was not a good steward of being the leader of speaking on Ferguson and letting real stories come up. He just wanted his stories to come up. He really didn't share Blue Hand's story. He really didn't share Hollywood's story or other people's story because he didn't have the ability to share them, but he acted like he was the gatekeeper. So I had to come kick the door open so we could share our stories, right? Yeah, I wanted to share our stories. And the thing about sharing our stories was brought about through OG Hollywood and the Ferguson Chronicles platform. You go on YouTube, Google Ferguson Chronicles, and you will see actual factual people like myself and other people telling their stories and giving you the real truth. No goddamn me entertainment, no goofy shit, just the real truths of what they've been through and the struggles that they have either overcame or they have fell victim to. And that's OG Hollywood Ferguson Chronicles.
Yeah, you could just type in Ferguson Chronicles and it'll pop up, or you could type in OG Hollywood. And what I tell you, man, say so far, so I've been doing this, I want to say 4.5 years, right? And I study the prison genre, so-called, right? OG Percy is in his lane. He did create an awareness, right? Even though I say this right here, me and Saucy D had Tales from the Crypt first. We just took them videos off my channel and put them on his and retitled them, right? But
Right.
we retitled them after Percy and them started Tales from the Crypt and Ferguson Unit was hot. So we put them on his channel called Ferguson Unit, something, I forget. And Percy helped them go up, right? And when he first started, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't like how he was doing it because to me it felt like he was glorifying everything, and I didn't have I didn't really have the desire, the want, the will, or anything to beef with anybody or anything like that. Not at all, right? And I told you I kind of keep it G-rated because the audience is diverse. But man, I really wasn't feeling the smiling while you tell these prison stories, right? That's the thing that bothered me and what struck me. And I said it before, and I was shooting a slug towards him though when I said, never trust a man that smiles when he tells you a painful story. You
Right.
understand? Criptonite is telling you right here about him in his cell praying that this white man does not die. He's thinking that he's throwing his life away. He's not smiling. He's not laughing. He's not joking. When I tell you stories, I try to tell losing stories. They're not funny to me. They're not ha ha he he. You know what I'm saying? So that's what without being on Ferguson Unit or anything like that, that's what struck me as odd, right? But I guess after a while, I seen him doing his thing, and I was like, man, he ain't really hurting nobody. He's getting his money or whatever. But see, when y'all came about and you spoke on it, I felt what you were saying, right? Like y'all were there when it was extremely hard, when it still was dealing with Mexican Mafia and TS, and you know what I'm saying? It's Dallas versus Houston and everything. And not saying it was soft when he was there, because I don't know, right? I was never on that unit, never touched no Midway, Texas in my life. But you have other hair, right? And I feel like it's room for both of y'all, man. And I wanted you on this channel because shout out real life street stars, right? This man did what you tell me over 20 million views or something across the platforms and everything, right? And
Right.
there's room for everybody. And what I said to you personally was, I feel it's unfortunate that you was blowing up because of Percy, because your story is so different. Your story is a lot deeper. You're now successful. You're now listen, gangs. I'm gonna say that too. It's hard for me to say fuck Crips, right? But fuck gangs. You know what I'm saying? Fuck gangs. Fuck gang members. Fuck all that shit that's fucking this society up. And he's still one of them, right? And that's what I can't go and support nobody pushing fucking gangs. Nobody that wants young people to look up to him. None of that. That's just not what I do here. We're totally fucking opposite, right? And that's why I was excited about you coming on this, because you're pushing that same message. You're literally saying it's not okay to be 50 something years old and still cripping. That shit don't make no sense. You know what I mean? If you're cripping
Right.
still, that light bill probably is kicking your fucking ass. You are on your way back to prison. You might get fucking killed. Like, it's just I always think of it like this, right? In California, Crips started by kids. Raymond Washington was a child, right?
Right.
These organizations, free world gangs, was started by children. Men grew into it, but a whole bunch of them either died or grew out of it. Only the
Right.
fucking bums in the goddamn neighborhood was still standing on the corner drinking a 40, telling the little kids war stories and shit, right? You know, that's what it was. Even the gangs in Texas was started by children. Like, we was young when this happened, right? So you're older than me. You first generation. I would say probably every 5 to 7 years is a new generation. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you was first. I was probably the second wave. My big brother was first. And I was one of the people that I didn't grow out of it till I'm almost 40 years old. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? And had I not had my child and everything happened in life, maybe I probably would still be with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have nothing to mature. But now that I see life, I've opened my eyes a little bit. I appreciate people that tell the real, right? Everybody hates Charleston White. I know that's your real personal homeboy. Like, you really know this man, do business with him and
Right.
everything. But you can never go back on my channel. You can go look at comments where they're asking me a million times, how do I feel about Charleston White? I've said on my channel, I feel like he's a genius. Like, this man has created attention to, he will say anything, right? We know this. Charleston will say anything to get your attention and then tell you gangs ain't cool. That's not the life you want. You know, so his homie that he says put him on, right? The I don't like saying his name, but his big homie in TYC that he used to talk about lived 3 cells down from me on Beto, right? You're his close personal friend, do business with him, and you live around the corner from me. It's a small world, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I will never disrespect him at all. I really, actually, as a social media content creator, so I will say it like this, right? As a social media person, content creator, I respect OG Percy talent though, right? And I told you the same thing. You're natural at this because you're not nervous, you speak good. He does too. And Charleston is the same way, right? The level that he's reached as a content creator, I got to respect. It's unbelievable the movement that he has. And his core message is fuck gangs, fuck jail, be a legal citizen. You know what I'm saying? I know he's in a little trouble now, but
Right.
that was accidental. That wasn't planned, right? His core message is something that I can really, really support, and yours too. And anybody who's not pushing that message, it is fuck them. That's the real facts, man. If
Right.
you're out here harming this world, even on by accident, I just can't fuck with you, man. I ain't got to be your enemy. I don't have to beef with you. I don't need none of that shit. But that's not real grown man shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. My thing with the Percy thing is this. I say it again. Everybody got the right to tell a story, man, especially if it's working. Real life street stars say, Hockley, if you tell a prison story about stabbing somebody and it went 5 million or 500,000 views, would you keep telling those stories? I told him, yes, I would. I get it. I understand it. But this what I didn't like. The whole idea of you plagiarizing shit to the point to where you would say you ran a prison is disgusting, bro. Yeah, I don't think I've never heard nobody ever in my history of doing time, right? And people that have left prison, I'm talking about niggas that done all kind of shit in prison, ever say that they ran a prison, ever say they was undefeated in prison. I never heard people who got every right to say these type of things say the shit that he was saying. And then to not even know him, to not even have a person from his city know him before he got on the internet was just absurd to me, bro. And I can only take so much of that shit. right? So that was my approach to it, right? Like, come on, bro, quit playing. Quit getting on here playing, quit getting on here lying. I'm not talking about the money part. I'm talking about the you running prison and we don't even know you, man. You being a big time Crip and it ain't nobody out here that got a bullet hole in them from you.
Yeah, I understand. That's what I'm saying.
It ain't no situation of you ever cripping other
so
than
this
you
is what I'm
taking a
trying to
picture
say,
and
right?
ran a rag. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say, right? I totally get it. I ain't mad at you for it, but I was never gonna say it. You feel
Right.
me? So that's again why I'm telling y'all, go follow CEO Hockley. Go follow this dude. He does a wide variety of content. He can drop a fire prison story at any moment he wants to. He don't have to do it on his channel. You know what I'm saying? He's got his own
Right.
channel. He's 13,000 subscribers at this moment. But after this video, we want to get Hockley to 20, right? Can I give my neighbor to 20K? Can y'all make sure y'all subscribe, man? If not, I'm gonna feel played, right? So show this man some love because of the love he's showing us right now. This is very much appreciated. So to be honest with you, you're now giving me my best video I've ever had on this YouTube channel, man. I'm not kidding
Right.
either. This is like the best channel. This is the deepest and most personal that anybody's ever gotten. And that's why I was telling you, shit, you're a natural born star. You're here for this. You know what I mean? And you
Right.
can do a lot of help. You can do a lot of help, man, because these kids are not going to listen to nobody if they haven't been there. You understand? And we have to steer them in the right direction. So while certain people are out here pumping up negative shit, gang banging, all this other stuff. We got Hockley over here running business, employing ex-convicts, ex-gang members. Uh, hey, I'm gonna just say it. Man owns properties. The man does all kind of stuff, right? This
The
dude is
toy
a real
drive.
life. Yeah, so he's a real life businessman. This ain't a nickname, right? That ain't like shout out FDA Houston Crip, but it ain't a nickname he's going right there. Dude is a real life, the real deal. You know what I mean? So he has a right to say how he feels, right? Every person, whether it offends somebody or not, you know what I'm saying? That's what the real do. You told me yourself you prefer brutal honesty. Be
Right.
real with you, right? And so I didn't have a right to speak on Ferguson or anything like that. You did, and you did it. But as I said before, I feel like it was unfortunate that your backstory didn't come out first, right? Like
Right.
people just saying, man, who the hell is this dude? And what right does he have to talk about it? So that's what we're getting it straight right now, right? Like this man has a right to express his opinion, whether you like it
Right.
or not.
And me and Percy got it straight. Like Percy salute me, I salute him. Right? Me and Percy got it straight. Like I told him, Percy, we gonna say YouTube is the rec yard. I'm hitting the rec yard for the first time. They saying you the leader. You gotta
Right,
come see me, Percy. Yeah,
right,
it
right,
ain't that
right,
personal. You gotta come see me. You the one? Yeah, line it up then. And it's as simple as that. If that's the code you say you live by, I can meet you at your level. Not
right.
only can I meet you at your level, I can beat you at your level. I don't need the applause or the claps because I bring the facts. So shout out to Percy. Shout
Yeah,
out to his
so
followers. A lot of people that follow him follow me. Right?
me too.
Shout out.
I promise you. Yeah, me too. A lot of so
Yeah,
they're in the comments right now. I told you that I have a lot different audience than real life street stars and probably from
right,
Hollywood. Hollywood got a lot of subscribers from our video. Our video. So if you didn't watch, shout out OG Hollywood. Our video is over 100K right here on this channel. It's about a 2-hour video. You know what I'm saying? So a lot
right,
of people got to see Hollywood, but nobody got to see your backstory. So we're gonna get off that, right? Because that's
right.
already been talked about a
Yeah,
lot. And honest to God, as a human being or something, man, I wish Percy well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that can beat anything they're going through or come up, shit, if he's rising in fame or whatever, I hope he's getting his money. You know what I mean? Like, I wish nothing bad about him, but I wish that he would come out one time and say, you know what, man, I'm done with that Crip shit. Like you got
Right.
what you need out of that, right? Hey, kids, I'm done with that Crip shit. I got children doing long bids trying to be like me, and that would be great. Keep telling your stories. Nothing's gonna change, right? Nothing, but you don't gotta still be that person no more. Like it's okay to grow up. Look at the golly, Wayne. Oh, that's unbelievable right there. I ain't never got nothing like that. But anyway, so look,
Yeah, shout
shout
out,
out
shout
to
out to shout out to Wayne Martin, man. So it was a segue, basically, for those tuning in. You was basically segueing with Percy as we got into Ferguson.
right. I
That's
just wanted
what was going on. Yeah, so I don't want the people to think that we going sidetrack on like some kind of Percy rant. This is not a Percy rant. He's basically setting up the audience to let y'all know, right, about we're moving into the realm of Ferguson unit and what was actually really going on in a period in which Ferguson unit was labeled and got its name, Gladiator School. So for
exactly.
those that like the Ferguson stories, those that are interested in hearing about the Ferguson stories, he's just trying to let y'all know that you get to hear these stories from CEO Hockley, formerly Criptonite, right, who was actually at Ferguson during the period of Gladiator School. I'm not saying my stories are better than Percy's. I'm not here to be a better storyteller. I'm here to tell my story and give y'all the actual factual truth of what went on when
Right,
I
right.
was there. And it was goddamn me Gladiator School coming
I
from burning hell.
I know it was. Listen, so I think. Listen, I believe Ferguson was for. Tell me if I'm wrong, right? I remember hearing this. Ferguson was first time inmates 25 and under, or no, hold on, repeat offender type, convict type inmates 25 or under, or about 25 to 30 their first time in. Was that what you saying?
Right. You told me that the other day that was interesting because you say after that they will move them to Beto.
Yeah, it seemed like that's what I was seeing. But most people were coming from Ferguson, yeah, as they got
Right.
older.
Right. So I went to Ferguson at 19 as a, emergency chain. I went to Ferguson at 19. And by the time I was getting shipped to Ferguson, remember, so now I'm 2 years in. I've been in multiple rides. I've been in 3 rides in one day that's getting me shipped to Ferguson, right? And I also been in a ride where someone I knew was murdered. So when I was being shipped to Ferguson, coming off of that ride, right? Um, it was a multiple things going through my mind. I was a veteran at that point. Like my name was ringing. At that time in TDC, you could write from unit to unit, right? So it was already overstood of who I was and what was being done on Clemens, right? But when I got there, Ferguson, as wild as Clemens was, Ferguson unit was more dangerous than Clemens because Ferguson was about structure and it was about standing on business. It was the first time that I actually seen wings, like punk wings that we called them, was PC wings. But they had wings set up, what I was telling you yesterday, with people that had caught out or people that was homosexuals. It was the first time that I seen that, damn, this is where people are actually doing real fucking prison time. And it's not a game. Like niggas is not thinking about the free world at all. Do you
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Niggas ain't even discussing the free world. This is prison life to the utmost.
They say a lot of them young fuckers was never going back to the free world. That's why.
Yeah, like this was that for real. Like, yeah, this was serious. Like it was just a very dangerous, unemotional place. And even the guards treated it like that. It was the first time I ever ran. I said in my real life Street Stars um interview, the first time I ran into real unadulterated slavery was at Ferguson unit, where they called you boy. They
Man.
called you
And hold on.
nigga.
And you gotta call them boss.
And you gotta call them boss. They called you nigga. Motherfucker
Criptonite,
call
listen,
me
do me
you
a
a
favor.
goat.
Do me a favor. Because all my young black homies, everybody out here watching this, say that again, man.
Ferguson unit was the first unit I ever went on, right? That I experienced real slavery, where a white man, right, would look you in your eyes and call you a nigger boy, call you a nigger, call you a goat smelling nigga. And you did absolutely nothing but obeyed them.
Real prison life.
Real prison life.
This is the
Motherfucker
stuff.
will
Hey, so
beat
hold
you to
on.
death.
This is the shit right here that no storyteller has told. You understand? This is what he's telling y'all. This man here is not, he just got through saying, I wasn't trying to hear rules none of the time, really. I just had to do me, right? I'm taking 8 to the door. It don't matter. And he's got these people calling him boy, using the N-word. And they're not scared. They're not no fear. They're the gang. They're the dominant gang now over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you realize that, how did that feel? When, I mean, you know, people might tell you and everything, but when you realize, man, this is crazy. Like, this sucks. Like, I mean, so I'm white, right? And the
Right,
police never liked me because I'm sitting on the black bench. I'm eating with the bench, you know. So, but what that made me do was try to avoid them laws like the plague, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like, seriously, how did you feel when you realized this? I'm a slave right now.
yeah, you're a slave, and the whole thing was to be demeaning. I mean, we talking about some of the worst people in the state of Texas is locked up here, man. I'm talking about the killers. I'm talking about the mass murderers, the stranglers, the rapists. I'm talking about the gangsters of the gangster. It don't get no more gangster than fucking Clemens, Edo, Terror Unit, motherfucking Michael's Unit, and this time Cofield. Man, these niggas is vicious. Do you understand? Oh, CEO, what's the difference from Clemens? Clemens was vicious, but we was kids. Over here, some motherfucker 35 willing to fuck your life away. And when I say fuck your life away, I'm talking about sexually, abuse you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think that's nothing. Not to get back on it, I don't think Percy talked much about that, right? And so
Right.
without being too damn explicit,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
can
want
you
to go
really
too
talk about
hard.
that, like prison rapes and stuff like that, man? Is it
Man,
real?
I can tell you this, man. It was very sad, but prison is a place in that time where the weak was preyed upon. That's why I told you after I lost that fight, I could not allow myself to fall into the category of the weak because I was mentally dealing with surviving, not killing somebody, right? I could not fall into that category because there's no love for the weak here, right? So I had to come out and ask God for one more one more pass to do what I needed to do because it's just not a place for a week. So I can tell you this, man. Dr. Ferguson, in at the door, like I say, we kind of wrote amongst prisons back then. So there was no checking or none of that for me coming through the door, right? I'm coming through the door with the reputation that I had, but they was letting me know off the rip, ain't no riots going on over here. So I was there from like 4 years. Remember, I'm telling you about all the riots. Ain't no riots happening over here.
What
They
that
not
mean?
even meaning if you start some shit, you gonna finish it, or the shit gonna finish you. You not gonna escalate it to the point to where everybody gets involved in it.
Right. That's deep right there. And listen, that's for real, right?
That's
And
for real. Like,
yeah.
you not gonna escalate it to the point to where everybody got to deal with your shit. They not going with that.
Here, I got a question
It's
for
not
you about
happening.
Ferguson. So here, I got a question for you about Ferguson. When you was there, did you ever see any one person running it?
No, that's what I'm telling you. No, no. That's what I'll tell you. My biggest gripe with OG Percy and his stories, because I knew that part was entertainment, right?
Right. And
And,
it's
and
and listen, very entertaining. That's why I respect his storytelling, man, because he's good at it, right? But I never seen one man run a prison either in not 5 years. So tell us, how did it work though? That's what nobody's ever told us. How
Well,
like
listen,
everybody run a wing, nobody ran
listen,
shit, somebody run
you
something.
can't you can't run the fuck ups. First of all, who can run the fuck ups?
Nobody that people that don't give a fuck what nobody says, right?
People that don't give a fuck what nobody says. How are you gonna run the fuck ups? Right? Nobody, you are sent to Ferguson to be forgotten about. Nobody's running nothing, bro. Now you got groups and fractions of people that bond together in cliques and people hold their own and stuff like that. But it's no one person running nothing, man. You will get murdered.
Right. Yeah. So okay, well let me ask you this. Let's clarify it. When you showed up over there, who was the big homies? Like, can you remember some of the like the cats that really
Okay,
had
when I
respect
showed
for
up,
you?
I showed up on high security. I hit C Wing. Me and True Cat hit C Wing. He got emergency ship with me. He could tell you the same stories I'm telling you, right? Um, we hit C Wing. Off top, man, I remember a few homies. My homie Sky Blue, my homie Blue Jay. It was a few homies that was over there that I didn't know, but that gave me the game coming through the door. Dewberry was over there. He was on, I think he was on D before he went to cold cut, but it was a few. So it was not like my experience at Clemens. Wasn't no coming through the door. They was gonna line me up. They was gonna check me. They was gonna do this because I already had a reputation coming through the door. They already was somewhat familiar of who I was and where I was coming from and what was going on with the rides on Clemens unit. Right.
Right.
So
So hold on, let me
unlike,
ask you something. Hold on. Are they telling you, hey youngster, chill out? Is that why they saying ain't gonna be no riots over here? They trying to tell you we heard about you, calm down?
yeah, they just telling me straight up that it don't work like that over here. You start some shit, you gotta finish it.
But I'm saying they telling you that because they know you might they scared you gonna start some shit. Yeah, they letting you
Right.
know what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. They because they convicting. They convicting and the riot shit fucks up everybody game.
Right. So that was my next question I wanted to ask you, right? I remember being in Galveston County, being in B pod and G pod. You remember that when we was young? That was the pod you're gonna go to. One was aggravated, one was not, right? I go in them
Right.
pods as a kid. I told you 2 days after I turned 17, I caught my first felony. We go in there, it's jumping, it's fighting, it's running in people's cells, taking shit, you know what I'm saying? And then later I go back, man, how old was I can't even remember, right? I went into an older tank where everybody was old, everybody had been to prison. It's the same. This we're talking about 719, right? The old with the
Right.
pod area, the parking
I know
garage
you're
shit.
talking about they called it new jail
Right.
back then.
Back then it was the new jail, not the one they
Right.
have now. But listen, so
Yeah.
I go in the old school pod, they're busting the speakers down, making tattoo guns. We're drinking hooch in there. They got people bringing in smoke. Like it's the same facility, same place, different older men. Like what was so when you're saying that they don't want no riots because it's fucking up the game, that's a hustle game. Without what was the difference like in Clemens? Was the packs coming in Clemens like that? Was y'all getting all the shit you need versus
Right.
Ferguson?
Right. So the packs was coming in. We had the hustle game going down on Clemens. We had all the game that they had, except for it was more structured. It was more organized. Like on Clemens, we didn't give a fuck if we got caught or not.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Over there, I was taught it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. And if you're doing it wrong, they gonna put you in check because they don't want the guards to put them in check.
Right. And you can't stop. Hey, listen, I don't care who you are in the prison. If you're the one that stops business, it's a bad look, ain't it?
It's a bad look, but you gotta remember this: the guards, as racist as they is, they don't want to do no work. They at work. At the end of the day, a guard is at work. At that time, they still doing 8-hour shifts, 3 8-hour shifts. They coming to work, they don't want to do no work, so they letting the inmates run it.
You want to hear something crazy that I forgot to tell you the other day or yesterday?
What's that?
My daughter, her grandmother, not related to me, was a 32-something year CO at Ferguson. You probably remember. I ain't gonna say her name right here. I'll tell you later.
Right. Yeah.
So it goes back to what I say. It's small world, right? And
Right.
she's actually watching tonight. Like she probably said, I remember that youngster right there, and I could probably show her a whole bunch of these YouTubers and ask her what was up with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because yeah, she would know. And she wouldn't tell no stories, you know what I mean? But it's just a small world, is what I'm saying. So listen, check this out. We've been going forever, man. I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. But Ferguson, I want you to say, what was it like? So we're talking about no one man runs this prison, right?
Right.
You're what cell block you said you went to closed custody or high security? You was
I
high
went to medium custody C block.
Okay, when you get to medium custody C block on your first day,
right.
What happens?
My first day, we hit, and all I remember was Doug asking me over the run. Like over the run. Over the run is called in public. Doug calling me out, Criptonite, you going to, they call Rick. Get ready for Rick, get ready for Rick. Everybody getting ready. Doug yells over the run, Criptonite, you going to outside Rick? That was like my call to come to the square, right?
Right.
Yeah, if I say no, then it's like I'm a hoe. I'm trying to stay inside, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Rick. Nigga, you goddamn right I'm going to Rick. That's what I say over the run, right? And I went out there and the homies already knew we was coming. They already knew what was going on. Like, I don't know how to explain it. They already knew about the RIP situation. They already knew about different situations, right? So they just went about lacing this up about how things was going to work over there versus how it worked on Clemens. It was no checking for me. It was none of that. Now, I did end up still having that pain and that frustration because a guy from Fort Worth hit me with a tray. So my first altercation was with a guy from Fort Worth, right? Like, yeah, I'm just carrying that grudge with me.
So your first altercation, though. So, I mean, was that you starting it? Was that was you with a chip on your shoulder or what?
Man, it was hard. I'm gonna say this: Kobe Bryant was in the league. This was 1997. I think this was Kobe Bryant's second year, or something like that. And he really wasn't a star yet. But the Rockets was playing. The Rockets was playing the Lakers, and it was a guy named Heavy out of Eggers Home. And this is the first time in prison. We see it now all the time. But in 1997, when I went to Ferguson, this was the first time I saw people that had tattoos all over their body and tattoos in their face, right? On Clemens, I saw youngsters.
For the first time on Beto, I ain't gonna lie. Like
on Beto, yeah, like right. So on Clemens, my first time seeing youngsters with missing teeth. On Ferguson was my first time seeing people that had, their body tatted up, right? Take off their shirt, they cut up with tats all over their body, with tats in their face. Ferguson was like that. So this guy named Heavy and this guy from Fort Worth, he passed away now, and they was betting on the game. And I had nothing to do with the game. I'm new here, but when you go to another unit, that doesn't make you a regular, neither. Right? So I'm new, but I'm not a regular. So I don't know the seating arrangement. So I'm just catching the back bench by the wall. And as the game is going on, Heavy and the dude from Fort Worth were going back and forth. Heavy for the Rockets, he for the Lakers. So as the game progressed, it looked like the Rockets was finna win. And I started clapping for the, as the game closed out. I'm like, man, damn, that was a good game. And started clapping for the Rockets. Well, the guy from Fort Worth that was arguing with Heavy the whole time, and I had no conversation with neither one of those brothers, turned around and say, hey, bitch ass nigga, you back there clapping. You ain't want to bet nothing. You doing all that fucking clapping, but you ain't want to make no bet. So he disrespected me and he challenged me all in the same time. So he was trying to give me like I could have played the game, as we call it, the bitch and hoe game, right? Or I could get to some gangster shit. So what I did was, it's like my second day here. I looked over my shoulder and he like, yeah, I'm talking to you. I looked around like to see who he talking to. He like, yeah, I'm talking to you. So he said, you ain't gonna bet shit. So, I say, yeah, bet I beat your ass.
Yeah, for real,
He
man.
said, fuck the Rockets, I bet on me. And so, this penitentiary culture, heavy. Yeah, I got money on G-Town. I
Wow,
got
man,
money on,
they
like,
bringing it up. Yeah.
it got crunk right on up, bro. That's my first altercation on. And listen, the same way they said, it did not escalate. Meaning, like, it's a Fort Worth and it's a Galveston nigga, and they gotta handle that. And however they handle it, he can't go get his homeboys. I can't go get my homeboys.
Right. Let me ask you something. This is for the viewers, right? Because I know the answer, but boy, you're a good speaker, man. God damn, you're a good speaker, man. Listen, what would have happened right there if you would have looked over your shoulder and he said, I'm talking to you, and you didn't say nothing? What would have happened?
Oh no, man, you gonna get took advantage of, man. It's full court press on you, man. The minute you show weakness, it's full court press. It's no different from you swimming and you bleeding in the pool. Jaws is coming to eat your ass alive. It's a full court press from grown men, bro. You ain't got no help. And listen, it just
Grown killers.
Grown killers. Listen what I'm telling y'all. Prison is not about who wins and who loses. It's about who gonna give you the most trouble about their dignity. And the minute you stand on that, people will leave you alone.
Yeah. Hey,
So
listen, so we said it before, and they said it on other channels. It really don't matter if you win or lose.
Don't matter. It's no way I can let that man get away with cussing me out, who I have never spoken one word to. And his first words to me was to call me a bitch ass nigga that ain't gonna bet nothing. There is no way that can go unpunished. Nope. Whether he beat me up or not.
Because listen, for one, you just a real cat, right? That's not cool to do that. I mean, free world or not, nobody's supposed to say anything like that. But in the penitentiary, and it's serious repercussions. And what he's saying right now is this man challenged him in front of a big game where everybody's in the day room, everybody's watching, everybody's seeing. It's like his second day there. You know what I mean? Like, somebody didn't get the message. Hey, he's not new. You know what I mean? And I don't know if this. Do you think so? Listen, do you think he was just trying to play you because you was new? He just was that type of character. I mean, what was going on?
No, it was prison coaching in full effect. He had lost the bet to Heavy, so he didn't want to take it out on Heavy. He took it out on me.
Right, he just mad about the loss. Exactly. Hey, listen, we got a question right here from one of my good viewers, and I should have asked this because a lot of them are white. What was? I got two questions. Right, first, new people that was coming to Ferguson. How was their checking happening? Like not people that's coming with a reputation, nothing like that. Say a new man. Give me the white, Mexican, and Hispanic title, and I'll get to the next question. Like, what was the checking like over there when you was there?
Okay, that's a dope question. It was organized the same way. Wasn't no ducking. It wasn't no chaos. You had to prove who you was, point blank, period. Either you was falling in the utility closet, you was falling at the end of the run, behind the handball wall. You had to prove yourself, no doubt about it. You had to prove yourself, and many people can't handle the checking, bro. Like, I done seen people fight hard one day and, give fellatio the next day, bro. Like, everybody's not built for the constant fighting and the constant people going back and forth.
Said, y'all, listen to what this man said. We're talking about man. This is something that's never been talked about. So I would have paid this man $1 million if I had it to come on and say this, just to help people understand how much this ain't the life they want. You understand?
Right. I done seen people have 3-4 fights in one day getting checked. And you look at him fight like, damn, that nigga got some heart. Like, he gonna stay down. And the next day, He's in a cell giving fellatio because he don't want to keep fighting people.
Yeah, it's sad, man. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not a joke. It's not a comical nothing. It's sad because it's real. You know what I'm saying? And think about them people, how they gotta go home, how they gotta feel like. So let me ask you this, real talk, and we're gonna get on the next question. When something like that happens to a man, right? When he's the guy giving the fellatio, right? He's giving head in the penitentiary. He's fucking washing boxers, cleaning toilets and shit. I mean, is there ever a comeback from that? Like, can he switch units? Can he be like a man?
It's no comeback, man. That's just what it is, man. That shit just in you. That's the way we always say, like, that's just what it is. And then these same people come out to the world, get married, and act like that never happened to them, right? And I understand, man, prison is a difficult place. People cope in different ways. To answer your question about the white boys over there, it was very different from Clemens with the white boys over there. White boys definitely got slaughtered on Ferguson, no doubt about it, right? But because Ferguson was such a racist environment, right? It go to weird part. The white officers hated and despised the white boys that came to prison. Hated them.
Wasn't fighting back.
No, not because they wouldn't fight back. I think they felt like they should not be in the prison situation.
Okay, so you know what I've seen that speaks exactly to that. I was with a lot of Nigerian guards that hated the black dudes that said the exact same thing about them.
That hated the blacks, but they did have a protection program for the white guys on Ferguson, right? Well, on every unit, right? What they would do was, excuse me, they knew they couldn't handle certain pressures and they didn't want us breaking all of them, you know, and just being vicious towards all of them. So they would get them the jobs. They would make them the maintenance workers. They would make them certain jobs and certain positions to where fucking over them is at your disadvantage. You really want to work with them.
Yeah,
you really want to work with them. And that was the same way for the Mexicans. So they did have more of a foothold on Ferguson, but the majority of them was in the corner playing Dungeons and Dragons, same way like on Vito. But if you were stiff enough, you could get a lane.
Right. Do you remember any stiff white dudes over there that would stand up?
I don't remember them by name, but it was some that would stand up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was some that would stand up. I mean, just straight up. You know, I done seen some white boys fight hard. Cowboy fought hard. You know, he got his ribs, bro, but he fought hard. Like, man, I done seen motherfuckers fight to the death. Like, yeah, we're like, damn, nah, he ain't gonna go. But I will tell you this. This is another thing about the prison experience on Ferguson that wasn't on Clemens, because Ferguson was a much bigger unit. It's probably a 3,700 man unit or something like that. I can't remember, but it's way. Clemens was like a 1,200 man unit.
It is 1,200.
Yeah, and Ferguson was like a 3,700 man unit or something like that. Well, they had wings, PC wings, right? And it was PC population, PC medium custody, PC closed custody. It was protective custody wings. And now this is the first time I was in prison. Not to say on Clemens that they was taking advantage of people like that, but on Ferguson, you had real live men looking and acting like women. I mean, tying their shirt up, twisting down the hallway, right? Doing all these different things. And you had whole wings of them. So we call PC wing the pump wing, right? That's the way we would label it. Now, this is new to my prison experience. I don't see this on state jails. I don't see this on Clemens unit, right? But I do get to see this on Ferguson. And what freaked me out, this freaked me out, bro. I'm not going to even lie to you. This when I realized I was in hell for real. We would go to work call. You remember getting called out for work at 5 o'clock in the morning. And the only way, one of the ways to get out of work call was to say you needed boots. You ever did that? Like damage your boots?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, so I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't in field squad. You know what? I was medically unassigned, so I sat in the motherfucking day room all day.
Oh, you said that, but you saw people try to get out of work by saying they didn't have their boots.
Yes, hell yeah. And I said, man, you know, people just straight lay it down, don't even turn out, boots, everything. Yeah, hell yeah.
Boots. So what happened is this. On Clemens, when they call work, they will roll the doors and we will go in the day room and then they'll call your squad from the day room out to work, right?
Yeah.
Ferguson was totally different. Ferguson was a slave encampment. Ferguson called work call. When the doors roll, you got to go from your cell to the fields. There's no day room stop. No day room stop. You come out your cell, you got to be ready. So by my third day, I'm like, God damn, they working the shit out of us. Like, I'm saying to myself, like, shit, I'm not going. I'm not going today, man. I'm catching boot call today. Fuck this. This shit is running too well.
I couldn't remember what it was called. Boot call, yeah.
Yeah, boot call. I'm going to boot call today. I'm catching boot call. And this when I realized I wasn't on Clemens. So I get into the fight the second day. Third day, because of the fight or whatever, I'm finna catch work call, right? And I'm finna catch boot call. I catch boot call. When you go into the field, you go through the shower out the door, right? So everybody go, they make you wait on the wall. Then for everybody that need boots, they put us like in the shower part. Now you got an open shower where men shower and they are naked. And then on the other side of the open shower, you got restrooms where people urinate and defecate at, right? That's blocked off from the shower part. Man, we was waiting in the shower part to get our boots. And as people was waiting, they would go urinate or defecate, right? I say, man, I'm gonna use the restroom. Let me go piss real quick before they come in here. Bruh, I walked around that motherfucking wall to piss, and it was a fucking orgy going on over there. I found out this day that you do not go to boot call if you are not engaging in homosexual activity. Listen to what I'm telling you. Because PC is separated from us, right? And we can't co-mingle with PC. The only time we co-mingle if people from PC catch boot call, right? So at boot call, they don't separate us, right? They put us in the tank so everybody can get their boots and go their way. Well, the lovers in this scenario, everybody catches boot call. This is my third day. I catch boot call and went around that wall, and bro, it was a full-out fuck fest.
Man. So listen.
Blew me away.
Do you realize you're now shocking the world, like with your real, true honesty? Somebody in the comments, look, salute to him, said, hey, it is what it is, right? We can only be honest. So check this out. Here comes CEO Hockley again, helping these kids. Imagine you, young man, 19, 17, 20, 21. You're going to try to get you some boots so you can work in the field, or actually dodge the field, right? Not work in the field. You're just trying to take a day off. Yeah, you're trying to take a day off, go get some new, and you stumble upon a prison orgy. See, so listen, we're going to be, if you want to be brutally honest, and I know you are, right? The prison, some hell no, everybody in there ain't messing with boys. Not at all.
No.
That's not true.
Listen, I never caught boot. I never missed a day of work again. I never missed a day of work again.
So let's be honest with it though, right? There are people amongst us as we're in population, we're in the day room, we're working, we're trying to buy a cigarette, any motherfucking thing in the chow hall. There are people amongst us that literally, like he said, there's no talk of the free world for these men. They're never coming home. They will never again see a woman, right? Some of these motherfuckers are mentally ill. Like, they're fucking crazy. They really have diagnosed problems, and they don't give a fuck what society thinks. They don't care what's right or wrong. They don't care about, not only do they not care about killing you, doing something to you, they don't care about. They just want theirs. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Right.
so in all reality, what do we say about that? Because so it's mind your fucking business time, right? It's mind your business time.
Man, listen, again, I had no warning. Nobody told me. I never saw nothing like this on Clemens. Like, I didn't even understand what's going on. And when I say an orgy, I'm talking about up to 8 couples, 8 people. Like, that's all that they have all skipped boot call, and this is they 10 minutes to get it on.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm telling you? Like,
They getting it
this is
on
the
hard.
it is a frantic orgy going on. I'm 19 years old. Nobody has laced me up about this. Nobody has said nothing about this. This is my 3rd day here. And bruh, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh man. So when they came, when the people finally came, these people came from behind the wall like nothing was going on.
Yeah.
Went
Normal as
about
hell.
order, man. I was trying to get out of there so quick and so fast to where once I got out of there and got back to the wing, I was like, man, what the fuck is going on over here?
So listen, can I steal your shine for a minute? I'm gonna tell a story about that too, because that's what we're here for, right?
Right,
So when I was on Beto, what I've always done in penitentiary, man, it's my favorite thing is I gamble on Scrabble, right? My
right,
shout out to my mama, because one thing that my mama would do is she liked to play Scrabble. When she realized I was good, and I told her, Mama, I'm down here whooping these dudes. My mama ordered me a Scrabble book that would have all words that could add 1 letter to it, right? The Scrabble dictionary, Scrabble study guide. And bro, I'm in my cell reading this shit. Okay, so I'm getting good. Well, there was a cat from Dallas who he was really, really good at this shit. So he hears about me. He's like, man, I'm finna fall out of place and play this white boy, right? We play. We go back and forth, back and forth. And I'm like, say, man, you're good as fuck at this shit. He's telling me, hey, you are too. He been down a long ass time playing, right? Every day. And he's telling me, hey, you're good as fuck at this shit. I said, man, we need to be partners. I said, I wish you was on this wing. We would tear these motherfuckers up because they always want to gamble. He was like, man, I do too. So listen, he started falling out of place, right? He had been on veto for years. So the laws opened the door for him. He comes straight in. You know what I mean? It ain't no problem. He had his way. So we're sitting here playing Scrabble one day. We're playing a cat against from South Park and a cat against from 3rd Ward, right? And you sit with your partner across the table, and they're right
right,
there to your right and your left. So another cat comes through, and the dude from the dude from not the dude from South Park, the other one, he says, hey man, that's that dude that fucks with them boys. And when he said that's that dude that fucks with them boys, my Scrabble partner jumps up, flips the board over, and slaps the fuck out the dude and said, bitch, I fuck with them boys too. What you gonna do about it? And I was like,
damn,
what the fuck just happened? Yeah, I'm like, my Scrabble partner fuck with them boys? Like, what's going on right here, right? But this is the fucking penitentiary. He just slapped the goddamn man. I'm sitting the fuck down like, oh shit, this ain't me right now. I ain't got nothing to do with this. These
right,
ain't crooks. They ain't from Galveston. I
right,
don't know these dudes, right? Like, fuck y'all. Man, the dude, so the old school cat, he had been down a long time too. He say, hey man, I apologize. I didn't know. I didn't mean nothing by that, right? This guy, so I talked to him about it later. I'll get on that for a second. But so when he says that, this cat from Dallas sits back down and he starts fixing the board himself. And he said, man, you know what? I know you didn't mean nothing by that. He said, but I fuck with them boys. And he said, I'm doing a life goddamn sentence, man. I've been down here like 20 years. Ain't nobody sent me $1. He said, I was in here getting skinny. I was doing bad. I couldn't smoke nothing. I was wearing dirty clothes. You know what I'm saying? He said,
right.
I just made the decision that I don't give a fuck no more. He said, I found somebody here that's got money. They take care of me. And to tell you the truth, they love me. That's what he said, right? The motherfucker loves me. And I'm doing good. He said, look at my goddamn clothes. Look at my shoes. You know what I'm saying? Look at my stomach. I'm doing fucking good. And that's all it
Right.
is to it. And the dude, hey, so how it ended up being, right? The guy that got slept, he had been there so long that nobody was gonna prey on him, right? Like it was
Right.
already kind of understood that hey, been a regular for like 20 years now. He fucked up. So that was kind of where prison can be so tricky, dog. Like nobody went and ran in his cell and took all his shit or nothing. I'm positive people lost respect for him, but
Right.
nobody victimized the man, right? The dude that slapped him, he was just reacting by nature. But what I'm saying, this is how real it is. And like you said, you stumbled upon a fucking orgy and didn't know what was going on. I was playing Scrabble with a goddamn dude that was fucking a boy, and I didn't know. Man, we ain't never talked about that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talked about none of this shit. So that's real prison life, man, where people ain't fucking ashamed. You know what I mean? People will do
They are not ashamed, bro. And it's just a place you don't want to go to, man. This is a place that should not be honored. And no, I say this all the time. They like, well, you got to be grateful that you went because you learned so much. I say
yeah,
the only thing I could credit prison for is showing me who I was. Before
yeah,
I went to prison, I thought I was a person that, like, for instance, I don't eat eggs. I remember telling people I do not eat eggs. It wasn't until I was in prison starving that I realized eggs wasn't that bad. Like, prison showed me who I really was, right?
because I found
Yeah.
out green bologna ain't that bad.
I found out lima beans and navy beans ain't that
Prunes and
bad.
shit.
Yeah, like I found out that I could eat those things. Prison showed me who I was, bro. Do you
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? That's the only thing I would accredit it for. But with the Ferguson narrative, man, we're gonna keep going on. We're gonna give some more stuff. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But I just hope your audience is able to appreciate the truth, able to appreciate just
So this
real
shit is
factual
gonna
stories.
this shit gonna shock people, right? Because I never got really this into detail about what it's really like. And
Right,
so uh this is gonna be the last time I say his name, right? Percy tells stories. He's a great storyteller. But as you said, it only stories about himself. And that don't include some of the shit we're talking about, obviously, because he's never said it, right? So let me tell y'all something. This is the longest video I've ever did in my life, right? This is now the best video I've ever did in my life. And I told this man yesterday after I spoke to him, right? We went outside by ourselves. I say, man, just keep this fun for me, man. That's why I duck off, right? Tim Snow might duck off 6 months. I might duck off 9 months on these people, man, because it's not fun by myself, right? I got
right,
hockey right here that so when we drop some other stuff, he'll be more himself if he wants to. I asked him to kind of tone it down a little bit for Texas prison stories. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted people to get a good first impression about this man. I wanted people to understand that this is a real life OG right here. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody. So you got a lot of haters on the internet, and I understand because you came out controversial, right? When we was talking about
right,
what we were talking about, people was mad in the comments. Man has a lot of fans. But I'll say it again for the third time tonight. It's bad, unfortunate that you are known for that. So we're trying to fix it, right? Because there's so
right,
much more to you, man. You really are a pillar in our community now. Everything he's telling you is past tense. You know, everything, you know, man, it's just I don't know, it's just such a story and there's so much to you. You're complex, like you're deep, but you're also real. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to it, man. I think a lot of people gonna see this and say, man, I understand where Hockley's coming from a little bit better. Hockley ain't no goddamn hater. Hockley is somebody that wants the truth to be told. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it's about, man. Like, I appreciate this so much, man. If you anytime you want to come back, the only thing I'll say is I don't ever want to go this long again. I'm about to fall asleep on your ass. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. We about to. It's Friday night, man. I want people to enjoy themselves. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I appreciate Tim for bringing me on the platform, man. If Tim hasn't stuck around for these last 4 years, 4.5 years, we wouldn't be able to do this, right, on a Friday night and kick it and share this game and get his wisdom to a diverse crowd. We got blacks, we got Mexicans, we got whites, we got everybody all across the globe, Asians, right? Everybody is in here. Everybody is supporting. Everybody is listening. Man, we only ask you all to do one thing, man. Shout out to the people that shoot super chatting and people that's showing love. But to really help us out and to really help this channel grow and to really make sure that our message gets where it needs to get, man, we need y'all to share this out, man, on your Facebook. Text it to a friend tomorrow. Say, hey, man, I heard this great story from this guy. Send this to some kids. I mean, get it out there to the people that may need to hear it. If it's one person that can understand that prison is not a place to go, that being tough only leads you to prison or to the graveyard. The prison is full of tough people. The graveyard is full of tough people, right? Like these places are overpopulated with tough people. You don't want to be a tough person, man. You want to be a smart person. Yeah, you want to be a smart person, right? Don't be scared, be smart. Send this out, man. Share this message. Send it into a text to somebody. Put it on your Facebook.
Let me say something. Listen, so I want to, from the bottom of my heart, right? This is something that I mean, and I'm not kidding. Southwest, Gypsy, especially Gypsy, Tristan Sanders, Curtis Lux, Sarah, thank you so much. Wayne Martin, I never got $100 super chat. I never would expect that. Thank you so much. Man, this is just unbelievable, right? This is a lot of love, and shout out your YouTube channel, your IG, everything. Listen, man, if y'all support this channel, go support that man. Listen, he's got his own shit. He's doing the Ferguson Chronicles with OG Hollywood. It's legit. It's fire content. They need more attention. These men are sitting here pouring their hearts out to y'all, telling y'all what it's really like. I said, I don't think I got to say it because I forgot. Hollywood has more. So when I was saying that I study YouTube, right, and that I'm a student of this, I wasn't kidding. Hollywood, out of all prison content creators, out of all of them, I don't give a damn if we're talking about 1090 Jake, Lockdown 23 and 1, Big Herc. Shout out to all these guys, right? No disrespect to them. But OG Hollywood is the man on YouTube that has the most former people that actually were there. If that man, I don't know if I said that right? But I'm saying like nobody has been able to bring on as many people that they've done time with as Hollywood. So that, to me, as a YouTube student, right, and somebody that studies this shit, is amazing. So Hollywood needs to refine his YouTube skills. We talked about that, right? He need to listen to some advice and everything like that. But he has the content, the experience. He has Hockley on there with him, who's already done went viral. Bro, you done went viral. Do you understand? Like, I've never went viral, not even close. And I just been doing it a long time. So my numbers are good because I've been doing this forever now, it seems like, right? You went viral. No, you are certified viral. So that's a difference. And he could be too, and he will be. I'm positive of that. Looks, man, oh my God. Say, man, y'all finna try to pay my car insurance for the next 3 months right now, man. This is love right here. But what I'm saying is, shout out to him. Shout out to what you got going on. You have your own channel, your own platform. Anybody that didn't catch that earlier when I said no, Hollywood is not blue hands, right? Super King, thank you. I don't know, man. It's just something that y'all need to get on. If y'all following this, you support this channel, go support them, man. You know what I mean? So
I'll tell it like this, Tim. It's like this. You got Texas prison stories, man. And then you got OG Hollywood with the Ferguson Chronicles, and you got CEO Hockley. What we're saying is this, as it relates to this Texas genre that we are responsible for, because this is our experience as a collective, right? You get an OG person, you get a Texas prison stories, you get an OG Hollywood, you get a CEO Hockley, you get a diverse group of people, right? Able to give y'all perspectives from a real point of view. and from different areas in Texas. So when you come to my channel, you're going to get everything. When you come to Hollywood channel, you're going to get everything. When you come to Tim, you're going to get the everything. You're going to get the wisdom. You're going to get the BS. You're going to get the wittiness. You're going to get the funniness. You're going to get all that, right? And this is where the stories come to life at. This is where you actually see the quote unquote characters that you hear about, whether it be blue hands, whether it be guards, whether it be wardens. We didn't even have wardens on the Ferguson Chronicles, right? Because these are the things that we express. So follow me, CEO Hockley, on YouTube, or just Google Ferguson Chronicles or Google OG Hollywood. I'm going to be back over here with Tim. I'm going to be back over here supporting this channel because one hand washes the other, and these are actual, factual, real life, and real truths. We also got toy drives we done did. We rebuilding our community. This is not the sad story. This is the butterfly story. We are the caterpillars, and now you are looking at the butterflies. So come to get the wisdom, come to get the knowledge, my nigga, and spread this. Beautiful people, spread this, man. Each one teach one. My name is CEO Hockley. I appreciate y'all for this time on this beautiful Friday. I appreciate you, Tim. Whenever you need me, holler at me. Come by the store tomorrow. We locked in, bro. We got to get that merch on you. I got to get that merch to you, bro. You see how your people supporting you. Tell Tim, man, y'all want some Texas prison story merch. I know he got it on the YouTube channel, but we got to get it on us, man. We got to be able to represent because now that's what we do, bro. One hand washes the other. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the time that we finna share with working with each other.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's been like 10 people ask what your channel name is. They ain't got it because they just tapped in. Man, shout yourself out again. All channels, every social media.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm finna drop it in the chat. Can I do that?
Hell yeah, please do.
Yeah, let's do that, man. I'm gonna drop the actual YouTube channel in the chat. Right now I'm at 13,000 subscribers. My boy Tim Snow say, man, we need to get to where?
20,000, man. Y'all, please listen. I know this video. So let me see where we at right now. Hold on a second, because I can look, right? So we're at about 5,400 views right now, right? But this, if I know YouTube like I know, and I hope, I pray on it tonight, I hope this video goes big, right? So if you support us, share this. The best thing that you can do to support this channel, one, hit the thumbs up. It's the 3 buttons in the top right corner, right? And then you just tap the thumbs up. You can do that. Drop in the comments. Thank you so much. But the biggest thing that I feel like people can do is share this out to your Facebook, right? Because Facebook is a platform that allows this video to go straight to it, straight there. Subscribe to Hockley. Did you drop it in there yet? Subscribe to Hockley.
Hold on,
one thing I'm gonna know. See, Hockley, I'm gonna be honest with you. His channel probably is a little bit more entertaining than mine. I'm not gonna lie, right? Because he got a lot of stuff going on. He's got the key to his show that I like the best is the call-ins. Like literally, you can call his show live. Imagine me and him doing this right now, but we got a phone number where you can call in. So forget the chat. You can be part of the show. You can, you know what I'm saying, you can be it. And he's just got a lot going on, man. I still didn't see you drop it. You're gonna make me pull it up. Matter of fact, it's Facebook. No, I'm Facebook. It's youtube.com/CEO Hockley. I think that's your URL, isn't it?
Right. I thought I had dropped it. It didn't come up.
I didn't see it.
All right, let me
pin it. So check this out. In the comments to this video, it's pinned. And you know what I'm saying? So if you're watching a replay, it's gonna be pinned. Anybody that sees this is gonna see it pinned right in the comments. It'll be the first comment that you see. So if you can type in CEO Hockley, you can look at the pinned comment, but we need to get this man to 20,000 because I told him this video was going to work and don't make me look bad, y'all. CEO Hockley, man, listen, thank you so much, bro. From the bottom of my heart. You just broke the internet, right? You just gave probably the best prison video that I've ever seen. I've watched all of them. And guess what? So we went so long with Clemens unit that we didn't really get into Ferguson. So we'll do that again if he wants to. It's up to him. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you so much, man. Keep doing you, man. And Just say whatever, close it however you want to. This is your show right now, all right?
Hey, man, once again, I want to close it the way I opened it, man. I want to close it with love, man. Shout out to Tim Snow. Shout out to the Texas Prison Stories platform. Shout out to everybody that's telling their story. Shout out to YouTube, man, for allowing us to tell our story and allowing us to monetize our story. Not out of spite, but out of retribution, man, because our story could help somebody else. And that's the way this word gets spread, and that's the way it get put out. Shout out to again, man, our community. Shout out to everybody, man. I'm CEO Hockley. You see it right here on the screen. CEO Hockley, man. And y'all gonna see me again. Y'all gonna hear from me again. And just share this and keep this out, man. Salute, Tim. Thank y'all, beautiful people, for being here on this Friday. And I'm gonna give y'all the actual factual truth. Part 2, we talking about Ferguson unit. We talking about how I survived Ferguson unit. And we gonna honor the brothers that didn't survive. Stay tuned. Make sure the kids get this message, more importantly, man. And I thank y'all again. It's your boy, CEO Hockley, signing off. It's on you, Tim, man. Holla at me, man. Salute, bro.
Man, salute. Don't, already. Much love. Listen, that was real true love right there, man. He said the key word. He knows it's monetized. You know what I'm saying? He knows I'm a single dad. It is what it is. He say, Snow, I hope you make $1 million off this video. I laughed and said, me too. I need it. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody comes right here and they tells a painful, hard story to tell, you have to respect it and you have to say thank you. Please go subscribe to the man, CEO Hockley, on YouTube. Texas Prison Story family, salute, man. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry for the long video, but it was necessary. We'll catch y'all later.